They're home at Saratoga.
Opening weekend continues at the premier race meet in the country, and fans started lining up early for a card that includes the first Grade 1 of the meet. Sister Charlie has top billing in the Diana, one of 3 lining up for trainer Chad Brown, who's attempting to win this race for the 3rd consecutive year. Brown also sends out a raving beauty. She's undefeated since arriving in the States. Her biggest challenge could come from her stablemates, as she looks to add a 2nd straight Grade 1 win. Proctor's Ledge has something on her resume no one else in the Diana can match: a win at Saratoga. She looks to go 3 for 3 at the Spa with 2 stakes victories already under her belt. And we'll check in on the social media sensation with a ghost white face. Would Southern Phantom's debut earn him a trip to the winner's circle? We'll take a look back when we return. All that and much more coming up on the first Saturday of this 2018 summer meet here at Saratoga. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Welcome to the show. Good to have you with us on Fox Sports 2 and other regional outlets across the country. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in Saratoga Springs, New York, for the very first Saturday of this meet. Some nice fireworks on opening day, and the crowd seems like it has gotten even bigger here on Saturday. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger Paul LaDuca. And here we go with a very big Saturday in our first Grade 1 coming up in the Diana. Of course, trainer Chad Brown with a very strong hand. 3 runners in that race, including a raving beauty who is yet to lose since coming to the States for him.
Yeah, she's been dominant. This great mare by Master Craftsman. And listen, she's got $694,000 in the bank. She's 5 for 19 lifetime. Now, her critics will say she had good positioning in both of her wins. I'm going to say they were both done very nicely. She gets a little green when she does get in front. But if you look back at her form in Germany before Chad Brown had her, her best races were at longer distance, 1.25 miles and 1.125 miles, where she did win a race over there. So I look, a horse that's coming out of a 1-turn mile, winning a Grade 1. Maybe the concerns are going 1.1 miles. I don't think that's going to be that at all. And she's probably going to be the one to beat in fighting favoritism with maybe the one horse in there, Sister Charlie.
Yeah, very highly regarded and coming out of a very interesting race, which she probably should have won. She was so far back in that New York Stakes where she lost to her stablemate. A lot more coming up on the Diana ahead. It's a race like all the races we show you. You can play from home. And right now, get a $200 new member sign-up bonus if you join with Naira Bets. Use the promo code Saratoga Live. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere. Again, go to NairaBets.com to get signed up and started. Guys, we talked about a raving beauty in the Diana. Of course, Sister Charlie. Going to be very tough to beat in that race as well, as we bring in New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling and one of the top trainers in the country, Tom Amis.
Thanks a lot, Greg. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the race is played out. And we've had some different takes, and Greg and I had some discussion about it yesterday in the show, and I'm curious to your take. Sister Charlie at the start, a little sluggish, kind of took herself out of the race.
She needs to get back to her race before, the one at Keeneland, where she was, okay, in a back position, as she always is, but just made an explosive late move. We're looking at a race here. This race was explosive at the end, and it was at 1.16 miles. She gets 1.8 miles, a little more ground to do what she wants to do. This barn is very good at correcting what they can correct with their horses from race to race. Sister Charlie is not going to be 20 lengths behind the field today.
No, and that was an odd race last time out because there was a runoff speed in the race. It opened up over a dozen lengths in the field, and it makes it kind of tricky. And 4-star Crook, who she beat in that race, got the jump on her in New York. I think that my Sister Charlie is going to be very much the horse to beat. It'll be interesting. Paul mentioned the 2 horses. How will they bet it? I think Sister Charlie is going to be a definitive favorite here. But Maggie Wolfendale is also with us, and always curious to hear Maggie's thoughts on all things related to what's going on here at Saratoga. What's up, Maggie?
Andy, thank you. And yes, you guys covered the 2 logical Chad Brown runners, but he also has a 3rd entrant in here, and that is New Money Honey, a horse that once upon a time was a multiple Grade 1 winner, including a win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. But she has lost her way, and maybe she was just a good 2 into 3-year-old. But she did come back and run in the Alabama on her lesser preferred, or not even preferred surface on the main track. And sometimes horses will react negatively to that, and it'll take a little time to get them back to their best. Well, she did come back with a race off the layoff, albeit against far lesser company. Did get the job done though, and that day she got a little hot, she got a little too revved up overall, and I'm wondering, with that race under her belt, that she might put forth one of her better efforts. She's going to have to, I know that, but at least she does have that back class to fall back on. But a guy who's trying to upset all three of these Chad Brown horses, Greg, is Brendan Walsh.
Three-pronged attack. Thank you, Maggie Wolfendale, for Chad Brown in the Grade 1 Diana. And then, of course, there is Proctor's Ledge for Brendan Walsh. Yeah, undefeated here at Saratoga. 2 starts, 2 stakes races, and 2 wins. Now back to probably her favorite place on earth to run.
Yeah, she's one of those horses when you try to look at her and you go, okay, why did I leave her out? Because when it comes to Saratoga, horses that like Saratoga, they like Saratoga, and they like to win races. And she was much the best this day when she wheeled out 4 wide to circle this field. Now she's facing 2 a filly and Sister Charlie and a mare and a Raving Beauty that are a different ball game than where she's facing right here. But she does have the credentials. She always shows up, it seems like. And again, another filly that has over 700,000. It's hard to ignore anybody that's 2 for 2 over a surface.
She is 4-1 on the morning line. She faced a Raving Beauty. She has faced Sister Charlie. She was not able to beat either of them, but on her favorite surface, maybe it will be a different story. Race 7 kicks off our coverage today as the start of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5, $300,000 minimum single ticket payout if you're the only winning ticket. At 7th race, my own 3 ace over the inner turf, and Chad Brown stacked in this one as well. 8th race, sprinting on the turf at 5.5 furlongs. Then it is the Grade 3 Sanford. We had the 2-year-old fillies in the Schuylerville on opening day. It's the Colts' turn today. And Mark Casse, he's got a chance to sweep the 2-year-old weekend stakes. He'll have Strike Silver in that race, who was impressive at Churchill first time out. Then it is the Grade 1 Diana. We will close things out on the turf at a mile, $50,000 claiming race in the last tonight. Weather and track conditions presented by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray. Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on, Pest gone. It's quick, fast and firm. Good weather, beautiful weather here this afternoon. Great crowd on hand for the first Saturday of the meet coming up. And here's a look at the field for the race that kicks off the Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Marathon event here, Paul. My own 3 ace over the inner turf, and allowance optional 80 race. Chad Brown has called Provision, and he has Silver Wave, who did not get the best of trips last time out. No. And we'll have Javier Castellano on board today.
Yeah, Silver Wave was very eager last time out, and the horse by Silver Frost just was really never given a chance. 1 for 8 the last 2 years. 5-2. You see Rocketry 9-2, not really getting played. There's a scratch and race and Call Provision. Hello Don Julio could hold the cards in here on definitely the one to catch at 9-2.
Difficult sequence. Paul LaDuca put together a ticket for us. What'd you come up with?
Listen, I'm getting through the first leg. 1, 4, 7, 8, right? I mean, Pattison Cross, you can get very creative and use that horse, because the horse does have a win here, and I can understand if you like that horse. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 10. I'm going to single Lexitonian in the Sanford. I think that horse has a ton of upside. I understand he came up the rail. I get it. But I think that horse has got a lot of upside, like I said. 1, 2, 6 in the Diana. I'm not going to take any chances. I think Raving Beauty, Proctor's Ledge, Sister Charlie just all have quality. The last race is so tricky. I was going back and forth. You know what? I landed on Just I Am. And then super fast towards the middle here, even though the 8 is 0 for 4 at Saratoga, I think the 8's going to be involved early. So I'll use 8, 10 in the last.
All right, let's head it downstairs. Andy Tom with more on this first leg of the sequence.
The most important race, I think, to talk about, there's a couple of them, because I actually think that the 7 Silver Wave may prove the worst to beat. I think that horse was actually best last time in the UN. But you've got to talk about the race that 3 of them are coming out of, the 8th race on June 24th. Call Provision obviously took a tough beat in there, finishing 2nd, and ran very well, as did Hello Don Julio, who was 4th in there. And I don't know if we have any video of that race, but Small Bear is a long shot coming out of that race, and I know you're interested in. Now, I'm not as high on him as you are, but I agree. He did not get a good ride in that race.
Yeah, look, we're talking about the 3-horse Small Bear. And this is a horse that
He's
the
the
gray
gray.
you're looking at right there. That's in second, I believe, at this point. But this is a very fast pace. The race backed up. Small Bear broke, was wide on the first turn, made a big middle move to get to the leaders against a fast pace. Yeah, he faltered here, but he faltered because what he did in the middle of his race. Look for him to be better settled today with Dylan Davis, and that is a rider change. And I recognize that Velasquez is going to another horse in this race, but I still think value, why not the 3?
And I agree. I think Small Bear's the kind of horse that could get a piece. He may not be good enough to win, but he's definitely better than he looks on paper, and I agree. Now, Hello Don Julio, he was on the pace the whole way, and he did finish 4th and run well in there. Who do you think ran the better race, Tom? Call Provision, who closed, or Hello Don Julio?
I think Hello Don Julio did, because I thought the race set up well for Call Provision, the one horse in this race, and I actually thought he hung a little bit at the end of the race.
It's not an unfair assessment. The winner is okay and got a slightly better trip, and he did have some trouble. But it's an interesting race all around. I think that Tom's points about the long shot Small Bear are extremely well taken. Thoughts that are always well taken are those coming from the paddock and Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Andy. And yes, Mr. Bill Parcells here in the paddock to watch his Small Bear run here. But going to take a look at the other Chad Brown horse. And while Call Provision, one of the best times I've seen him, his 2-to-1 price, standing strong here. We'll check in with his stablemate in number 7, Silver Wave. As we heard Paul say, he's pretty keen in his last start. Well, he's showing a lot of energy here once again. Now, overall, this is the most fit I have seen this horse look in his his 3 New York outings to date in this country. He's a very good-looking type, and I like him, but his overall will to win, is it still there? We'll see how he does dropping out of that Grade 1 United Nations. Number 8 in here is Rocketry, and he's currently 4-to-1 as he comes out of the Belmont Gold Cup, turning back to the mile and 3/8. Don't get to often say that, but this is a horse that I just feel as though now as a 4-year-old really has kind of hit that peak maturity level. He's mature in mind and body, and I like that here for Jimmy Jerkins. And obviously, he's undefeated at this distance. It suits him down to the ground, and I like what I'm seeing from Rocketry. Another one that I think is very intriguing here is number 2, Patterson Cross. He comes out of off the back of a win for trainer Bill Mott. And he's one that he had participated in several graded stakes, and then they just got a little more realistic with him. And furthermore, now that he's paired these 2 races back to back, even a little more fit. But 2, thinking about him and how I'd seen him in his going back to 2016, he's just really filled out, and he's just a very good-looking, striking horse now. And I just think this is his playground, these types of races here at a mile and 3/8, Greg.
We're going to step aside for a timeout. The Naira Bets late pick 5. It begins here in race 7. 111,000 and growing in that pool if you're the only winning ticket. 300,000 is what you'll win. Also, another edition of I Am coming up, the track photographer. We'll meet her next.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb was the leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including Orbelution, stakes performer Scrapper, and TDN Rising Star Explorer. In the sales ring, his progeny continue to sell well beyond his stud fee, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Classic winner, classic pedigree, classic results. Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
I believe so. Do a mic check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test. Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Yo, whoever's the name is.
Yo, whoever's the maintenance has to move that garbage can out because we're starting to make.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live. I'm Gabby Gaudette, and before we get to race 7, which we're just about 14 minutes away from, I have a very special guest, President and CEO of the New York Racing Association, Chris Kay. And Chris, I was talking to some fans here at Saratoga yesterday. They said that they were lined up 11 p.m. the night before. Talk a little bit about opening day and the successes that we saw.
Well, we are so blessed to have so many wonderful fans that have that kind of commitment. And yesterday was a banner day. I think we had the second highest handle in the last decade, the second highest attendance, and a record for on-site wagering yesterday. So it was fantastic.
Wow, the incredible day. I could witness it myself that it was incredibly packed. And talk a little bit about the area that we're standing in right now, a new seating area called the Stretch.
Yeah, so every year we've tried to enhance the guest experience, and this year it's bigger and better than ever. This is at the end of the grandstand, which was not used very much, and now we've created an incredible party zone for people of all ages, all backgrounds. There are 6 different types of seating areas. We've got a massive video wall, incredible bar and congregation area, and the technology that's available on these 15-inch iPads, one for every 2 seats, is unbelievable.
How have you witnessed the people, the new fans, kind of utilizing and using the space?
It's been great. I mean, first off, they love to move around from one area to the other, which is truly the idea of today's fan, and we've designed this with that idea in mind. They love to use these iPads because you can wager on Naira Bets, you can watch races from the past on Naira Now, you can also watch the current race. You can watch 40 different television channels as well. You can order food and have it delivered to your seat. People love that. So it's all been great.
I noticed that yesterday, a couple of people ordering lobster rolls right to their boxes. But you talked and mentioned a little bit about television and broadcast. Not only have there been improvements in the actual facility at Saratoga, but also in the broadcast.
Exactly. And we are so fortunate to have great partners with Fox. We've extended our agreement and expanded it. So not only are we here in Saratoga with Fox, also at Aqueduct and Belmont, almost 100 hours of live television coverage on Fox. And it's a great relationship. I just want to say one thing. The people we love at Fox, but I also take my hat off to Tony Oliveto, who is the leader of it here on the Naira side. And Tony, I know you're a little bit under the weather right now, but we're all pulling for you to get back here, get well soon, and we look forward to giving you a hard time in the very near future.
You speak on behalf of all of us. Thank you so much, Chris. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, Gabby.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thank you. Chris Kay has done a sensational job since he has taken over here as president and
Taking
CEO.
a shot of the boss of the boss.
We all miss.
Yeah.
It's Tony Olivato. We hope he gets better soon. It's not seemed. It just something's missed. Seems like something's missing for us today.
Yeah, but I'm with Chris. We can't wait for Tim to come back to make fun with him. So, but Chris has been a great leader of us and inspired us to try to make this meet as great for you guys at home watching us. But yeah, come out here and check it out. It's gotten better and better. The app is hold on, give me 2 seconds, because I downloaded it today. It's a really cool app. It's just called At the Track. As soon as you get at the track, you can get notifications where you can order your stuff. So a lot of different changes and cool stuff going on.
Staying up to date with the times here at Saratoga. Continual improvements here at the track as we get set for the start of this Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. And then let's take a look at Rocket Tree. This was back on April 27th in a 3-length score at 1.25 miles at Belmont.
Yeah, and this is a good score. You know, it's 6-6. Rocketry, I always thought he was going to be a very nice horse. He carries his head a tiny bit high. I mean, higher than usual. And, you know, when he ran the 2-mile Belmont Gold Cup, I really felt that that would hurt him in the long run, and maybe a cutback in distance would be better. His better races have been, though, going longer distances. So he's a really tough read at 9-2, but he does have a win over this racetrack.
He's a 4-year-old, a little bit younger than a lot of these who've been around for a while, like Silver Wave, the 7, who's up there at 6, and a lot more starts under his belt, but kind of the up-and-comer. And as you mentioned, yeah, he loves this distance, Rocketry, the 8, 2 for 2 at 1 mile and 3/8. Sam the Bugler with a call to post. Post parade coming up here for this race that kicks off again, the Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Fans and connections making their way trackside. And we'll start off with Call Provision, one of 2 in the race for trainer Chad Brown. Irad Ortiz Jr. will be aboard the son of Lemon Drop Kid, who's a 2-time winner at Saratoga.
Yeah, this horse is a dangerous horse, and like you said, now Irad gets aboard. Jose has been aboard the last 3 times, so maybe trying to shake things up.
9-5 on the board on Call Provision. The 2, Patterson Cross for Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott with Joel Rosario.
He needs to improve off his win just 17 days ago, but he has back form that would give him a chance, and the distance suits.
Small Bear, the 3 for Dylan Davis will be aboard for Jeremiah Engelhardt. He is a trier.
No, he really is. He gives you everything he has, this great son of Macho Uno, and you're getting a big price if you like at 17-1.
Owned by Bill Parcells, August Don Farm. The 4, Hello Don Julio Speedster with Kendrick Carmouche for Michael Dilger.
Has run well in both of his starts in 2018, but the paces have been tough. Can he go to the lead and slow it down, or will he sit behind a horse like Memories of Peter?
Yeah, Memories of Peter with pace for Jimmy Ryerson. Jose Lezcano aboard.
Probably in a bit over his head, but his best weapon is his speed, and they're likely to flaunt it.
Silver Wave, trained by Chad Brown as well. Javier Castellano aboard.
Yeah, he seems on paper maybe a tough horse to ride, and I'm wondering if the blinkers are going to hopefully solve that, and you're getting 3-1.
Comes out of the Grade 1 United Nations last start. And here's Rocketry, the 8, John Velasquez for Jimmy Jerkins.
It's a serious class test, but his form has been good in his last 2 starts, and he likes the distance.
So that is your field for the 7th race here. Again, that kicks off the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 sequence. 170,000 and growing in that pool. And the minimum single ticket guarantee, if you're the only winning ticket, at least $300,000. That's what we call value.
Yes.
Gotta get involved at Naira Bets. We're gonna take a break, the first leg of the sequence. When we come back, stay with us. You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Fall. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners. The Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Fame. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
We're back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Getting set for the start of the Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. Mile and 3/8 to kick us off here on the inner turf in the opening leg of the sequence, with more on a horse who's actually going to be shortening up in distance in this race. That is the 8 Rocket Tree. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Yeah, a bit of an odd scenario with number 8 Rocketry in here, but watching these horses warm up, of the short-priced runners in here, Rocketry to me was the one who was moving just very nicely, very sweetly over this main track for Johnny Velasquez. He started off with the pony, then he just kind of went alongside him, and like I said in the paddock, this guy is just really matured mentally. He's really thriving on his racing, and furthermore, as I said before, Mountain 3/8 is right up his alley. We'll see what kind of trip he gets behind certain speed horses, including number 4, Hello Don Julio, who has come back off of a lengthy layoff and matched his 100 Beyer speed figure that he got in the Knickerbocker in the Grade 1 Manhattan and then in an allowance race. He is likely the speed in here, and sometimes on this inner turf course, depending on how slow you get to go, you can steal it on the front end, and he certainly has a speed rider on his back in Kendrick Carmouche, and considering he's had a somewhat taxing campaign with these 3 races kind of back to back to back, he looks fantastic here for trainer Mike Dilger. But another horse that might keep him company on the front end is long shot number 6, Memories of Peter, for Jimmy Ryerson. He's just kind of been knocking on the door. He runs okay enough in this type of condition at this distance to warrant to be a part of the conversation here. He's another one that really caught my eye though in the warm-up, Greg. He's that big, good-looking, striking gray son of Disco Rico. That's what I saw out on the track.
Maggie, thank you. Kind of interesting. A horse going a mile and 3/8 here, who's by a horse who was a very good sprinter.
Yeah.
Disco Rico is very good on the Maryland circuit. One horse here is coming out of a Grade 1 last time out. That is Silver Wave, the 7 horse, for trainer Chad Brown. With more on this one, Andy, what are your thoughts?
I'm very interested in Silver Wave in this race. I really think he's in some ways the horse to beat. He's been a horse that obviously came to this country with great form overseas and has not been able to duplicate it. But to me, he showed in his last race, a Grade 1 UN, that he might be returning to that form. I don't know if he got away from the rider or not, Tom, but he basically just seemed like he couldn't really control him. And to me, he ran the best race in the UN behind another Chad Brown horse. And if Javier can rate him today and get a good trip, I believe he's going to be tough to beat.
I think it has something to do with it, right? Chad had how many horses in that race
4.
in the United Nations? 4 in the race. He won it on the front end with Fantastic. And look, to a certain extent, I'm sure Silver Wave was trying to stay out of Fantastic's way as the pace went on. He could have been much closer that day, and I think it would have changed the outcome of the race.
He was wide without cover every step of the way, and it's the absolute worst kind of trip, especially to get with a European. Now, listen, he may be a very hard horse to ride. There's a rider switch to Javier Castellano, but if he can get him somewhat tucked in, I think he can get it done, and there's your long shot, Tom, and I'm with you. I think he's a viable horse, maybe not to win, but for a piece.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you're talking about the 3 horse or any horse in this race, you've got to be talking about this pace setup. It's dependent on the 4 Hello Don Julio and the 6 Memories of Peter, who is the fastest horse in the race, to get out there and set an honest pace. I think that happens.
I almost wonder, though, if they'll be a little sneaky and try to get to the front themselves here, because I think he can be more forwardly placed. Some intrigue to what's a very exciting and really a stakes quality, a graded stakes quality field, Greg.
Very, very strong field. Yeah, this easily could be a stakes race, and most of these horses have run at the top level of competition, including that 3-horse Small Bear. He's been in a few Grade 3s, but a lot of these horses have been in Grade 1s in their day. Hello Don Julio, the 4-horse, one of them.
Yeah, and he is, and he brings speed to the party. That is his weapon. He's going to try to beat you from the get-go, and the 6 Memories of Peter is going to have to keep him company. They let him get away with slow fractions. Son of Fleet Alex will be tough down the lane.
That is going to be what we're keeping our eyes on here early. The 4, the 6, who gets to the front between those 2? Do they duke it out on the front end? And is there going to be a surprise horse that Andy talked about, maybe keeping them company as well?
Yeah, and the thing is, does Call Provision the 1, does it even matter? Is he just better than this group?
I'm with Andy. I think Silver Wave, the 7, is the horse to beat in this spot. He comes out of the Grade 1 United Nations with a better ride in here. He might be the one to beat in this spot here, but it's the other Chad Brown runner, Call Provision, who's the 9-5 favorite. Here we go. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
They're off. Call Provision broke well on the inside. Hello Don Julio and Memories of Peter right alongside, and Call Provision will now be taken back after a sharp beginning and sit third behind those two expected pacemakers. And then it's Small Bear away running in fourth position. On the outside is Silver Wave in fifth, and Patterson Cross and Rocketry takes his spot at the rear of the field, just 7 lengths off the lead. And Hello Don Julio's going to set this pace, and it appears to be a moderate one as they come into the stretch for the first time. The first quarter mile up in 25.37 seconds. Memories of Peter is keeping Hello Don Julio a bit of company here, but keeping him well off the rail and just to the outside of this pacemaker. Then a break of another 3-2. Call Provision, Small Bear to the outside. Another 2 lengths more to Patterson Cross racing alongside of Silver Wave, while Rocketry sits at the rear of the field and is 8 lengths off of these dueling leaders now, who are side by side moving into the clubhouse turn, and they're quickening things up. Hello Don Julio the leader. Memories of Peter continues to track on the outside. 49.52 was the half mile. Call Provision a tucked in third, 3 lengths from the front. Then Small Bear a length and a half back to Silver Wave outside of Patterson Cross, and Rocketry still last of them all onto the backstretch, and he's 7 lengths behind the now isolated Hello Don Julio, who's run 3 quarters in 1:15.36. Memories of Peter now 2 lengths behind in second. Call Provision is third on the inside. Rocketry has made progress now, moving up alongside of Small Bear up the backstretch. And then it's Silver Wave, and Patterson Cross is just 4.5 lengths off of front-running Hello Don Julio, who's taken on again by Memories of Peter. Outside of them, Small Bear tracks in third, moving around the far turn. Call Provision under stout restraint, fourth on the inside, just 2 lengths off the lead. Rocketry has come under a ride. Call Provision needs a way through. He is boxed in as Hello Don Julio takes him to the top of a stretch in front. Call Provision up into second with a clear shot at this front runner with 1 furlong to go. Then Rocketry on the far outside. Hello Don Julio. Call Provision moves up alongside, goes by. Rocketry is next. Then Patterson Cross and Silver Wave. Oh, Hello Don Julio's coming back on the inside of Call Provision. The two of them down to the wire together. Call Provision holds on from a stubborn Hello Don Julio and Rocketry. Then Patterson Cross in 2:14.28.
That was a very happy trainer, Chad Brown, getting the win there with Call Provision. Tough defeat for Hello Don Julio, set the pace the entire way. This time, Call Provision's punch at the end was enough.
Yeah, it really was. The 4, Kendrick Carmouche, got away with murder on the front end. 1:15 for 6 furlongs and almost stole this race. But Call Provision always sat in a great spot with Irad Ortiz and just had enough punch to get by.
The key to this win, I'd say, would be Irad using his rail position to make sure he got position early with Call Provision. He wasn't far back. He was sitting right in the pocket. So even though the 4 was absolutely walking on the front end, Tom, Call Provision was close enough, and he wasn't badly compromised by the pace. He got out in the stretch, and he wore him down. The best horse won.
Yeah, no doubt, the best horse won. And what was going on with the 6, Memories of Peter, that had every opportunity to challenge the pace of Hello Don Julio. 1:15 and change for 3 quarters is a credit to what the effort was of Call Provision to overcome that and run down this pace setter, the 4, Hello Don Julio.
There is Chad Brown looking on, going to be taking a trip to the winner's circle, 8-5. Finishes 1:4.82. There was a moment in this race, the track announcer Larry Colmus called it, that we weren't sure if Call Provision was going to find a way through.
Yeah, there was a down on the rail, but always saving a lot of ground. I'll tell you what, Patterson Cross ran giant. He was really making up a ton of ground late.
Let's go downstairs to Gabby Gaudette.
Well, here with Chad Brown, obviously with the winning trainer, Call Provisions. Were you getting a little bit nervous around that far turn when he was down inside?
Yeah, I mean, he saved all the ground. It was a beautiful ride, but, you know, when you save ground, you're going to take some risks, and thought Irad did a beautiful job to finally find a little room late. And, you know, this horse likes to hang a little bit, and he really rode this horse hard down the stretch and got him to pass the other horse, which isn't easy for this guy.
He did show a little bit of guts coming down the stretch, though, today, huh?
He did, but once he likes to hang with other horses, and I thought Irad really, you know, in addition to riding a brilliant race, he really finished and kept busy on this horse, who tends to be a little bit lazy late.
Well, congrats on this one, and best of luck later on today in the Diana.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Greg.
His first win, Call Provision, since October of last year.
Yeah.
And, yeah, a little bit of a tricky horse to ride in here, but Irad Ortiz Jr. able to give him a little extra punch.
Yeah, and the last time he won was with who? Irad Ortiz Jr. Sometimes when it changes brothers, it works. But yeah, a great ride by Irad to finish the race because Hello Don Julio was not giving in.
Yeah, great job. Too good to lose for Hello Don Julio, and well done by Kedrick Carmouche. But Call Provision starts things off. The NYRA Bets Late Pick 5. We'll be back.
This three-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NYRA Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or NYRA Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Soft got a turn with a link for the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NYRABets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. There's Clips Award-winning trainer Chad Brown on the board with a victory here. Call Provision at 8-5 gets the win.
Yeah, congratulations to the son of Lemon Drop Kid out of the Dynaformer Mare Run-In, the New York bred, Katie Rich Farms, Clarovich Stables, and he turns the table on Hello Don Julio, who beat him in June of last year, $5.30 to start off your NYRA Late Pick 5.
And, you know, we talked about the pace in this race. We thought the 4, the 6 might go at each other. They sort of did, but Hello Don Julio in front all the way. You mentioned the slow fractions that he was able to get early on in here, and you would think he got kind of everything his own way with how slow he got to gut. Just a tough beat for him to not finish the deal here.
Yeah, I'm with you, and you're starting to look now at his PPs. I'm wondering if he likes the stock. His 2 wins is when he was laying 3rd or 4th, and he was able to draft a little bit. When he's on the front end by himself, he just doesn't seem like he seals the deal.
So we're underway in the NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 with a favorite, 8-5 to start things off. Up next, race 8, 5.5 furlongs. We're going to shorten up a little bit on the turf. Entry-level allowance. And right now it is First Appeal. Linda Rice, Jose Ortiz, favored in a horse that likes Saratoga.
Yeah, 2 for 3 here at Saratoga and a 3rd place finish. We don't even need to get into the details of how good Linda Rice is here, how good she has been over the past 5 years when it comes to turf sprints. So definitely a player in here.
Meanwhile, back to Call Provision's victory in race 7. Maggie Wolfendale standing by with a winning rider.
Always nice to be joined here by Irad Ortiz, as well as Sarai Ortiz, too. Irad, saving all the ground. I mean, you slip through, and this guy always seems to run his race for you.
He did, you know, every time I brought him, he show up. He's a fighter. If you don't win, he finish second, but he's that kind of horse that he don't want to win by too many, so you have to try to time him, and he runs so well.
You notice he is a little bit of a quirky type before his races, too. I remember back at Belmont, your iron had broke, and I know Chad got very nervous about that, but you know him and you have confidence in him.
Yes, that's why he tried to give me the chance back, he told me, and I just probably understand with him, and I just something he like about me. Or Jose running good too. He running against nice horses. Today the spot was a little easier, so he appreciate that.
Ira, job well done. Good luck in the next couple, and congrats here.
Thank you.
All right, Sarai, can you give a wave to the camera?
Dile adios. Adios.
Adios. Good job, Sarai. Greg, back to you.
High fives all around for Irad Ortiz Jr. and family.
Yeah, pretty cool. Irad knowing exactly what to do with that horse. Chad Brown saying he doesn't really like to pass horses. Irad telling Maggie he doesn't like to win by much. You got to really hustle this horse, but he got the job done.
Timed it perfectly. And as Andy Serling had mentioned, good job by Irad, too, to kind of keep that horse closer than he'd been in the past. Yeah. Race 8 we'll get to coming up momentarily. Of course, so much that you see at the racetrack. There's a lot to do here. These equine athletes, incredible that we see here at Saratoga, the jockeys, the trainers, the celebrations in the winner's circle. It is all captured by the track photographer. Let's meet who that is in another edition of I Am.
I'm Chelsea Durand, and I'm a track photographer. Track photographer, the main thing that we do is shoot the finish line of every race and the winner's circle. For a finish line photo, if you're shooting just straight across the track, all 4 off the ground, or there's like 2 strides that look really good. If it's a really close race, as long as the horse is in front, because sometimes it's not a good stride, but as long as the horse is in front and it's at the wire, before the wire, that's what we use. And there's also extra events going on at the track every weekend that we have to shoot for marketing and whatever else the track needs. I actually went to school for fine art photography, which has nothing to do with sports at all. So I understood like exposure, composition, how to use the camera, but I never shot anything moving, really, that quickly at least. And the equipment's different, it's much nicer than what I was used to, but you get the hang of it. So I started horseback riding when I was 8 and loved horses ever since, and also had a passion for photography, so it was really just combining the 2 passions coming here. There was a lot to learn. There's still a lot to learn. Like, I had no idea there was so much involved in horse racing. My favorite one was when California Chrome was running for the Triple Crown. That was the first time I ever shot morning workouts. I got a headshot, and it was on the cover of Blood Horse. And it was kind of cool because the Blood Horse covers I've gotten previously were all races, like that same angle I always shoot. So this was like the one that was different. And it's like, I just woke up 2 weeks in a row at like 4 a.m. and that was worth it. One of the most exciting moments was when I entered a photo for an Eclipse Award, and I got honorable mention of a photo of a horse keyed as a 10 jumping in a shadow at the finish line. When the horses are coming down to the wire, like, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. It's like, I feel like half the reason is like I hope my camera doesn't break, and the other half, like, it's very exciting. Like when American Pharoah won the Triple Crown, I was lucky enough to see that, only being here for 5 years, and I like flipped out. Yeah, it was pretty emotional, and I was like, oh, I guess I like horse racing.
Oh, look at all these tremendous moments captured by Chelsea and that photography department here at the racetrack. They do an outstanding job.
No, they really do. I've actually purchased some of their stuff and have hung it up in my living room. They have some great stuff, and you can always come out to Saratoga and pet a pony.
Yes, Stormy the Pony here from 12:30 to 2:30 on race days in the Horse Sense Barn near the Coca-Cola Saratoga Pavilion. Take the little ones for a little petting action, get up close and personal. How about that?
Yeah, they really did a great job. Where Gabby was talking about, if you go a little bit farther to the left, they have like a little zoo, like a little petting zoo where you can pet him. And they got a nice little area for kids where they have nice little slides and stuff like that too. So they make it very, very family friendly when it comes to the yard here.
And you know, it is supposed to be for kids first and foremost, but I've seen you in line there the last couple of days.
None rather. Listen, I like to pet horses.
We all love it. Puts a smile on your face. So that happens each and every day here at the racetrack. So many other things aside from just the racing that make Saratoga very, very special each and every day. first grade one of the meet still to come. That is the grade one Diana, and some stars coming out in this one. Sister Charlie, New Money Honey, former Breeders' Cup winner, and a Raving Beauty, all lining up for the Chad Brown barn.
Yes, it'd be very interesting how this plays out. Sister Charlie probably will end up being your favorite at Raving Beauty. They'll battle for favoritism. Proctor's Ledge loves this racetrack, and I think all the rest are going to have to really move up to try to contend with those three.
Well, New Money Honey, one of the Breeders' Cup winners for Bob Edwards' E5 Racing Thoroughbreds. Got into this sport really on a whim, and he has had the Midas touch. Incredible success in a very limited amount of time. Let's learn more about the success of E5 racing.
It's 5 Edwards, my wife, myself, and our 3 children, Cassidy, Riley, and Delaney. So my wife's cousin was getting married, and I kind of had to duck out, you know, during the ceremony and get on the phone as Mike was going through the auction, and we ended up buying our first horse, Lucky Bug, and that was 2015. He said, don't buy a horse, and there was never the plan, and I swear my daughter will agree, we didn't have a plan to buy a horse, it just kind of fell in that way.
I thought it was extremely crazy. When he walked out the door that morning with my daughter, I said, don't you dare buy a horse. I just knew in the back of my mind when he grabbed my daughter, who has loved the horses since the time she was 3 years old, there was just something, I just knew something was going to happen, and this was going to be an experience for us with the horses.
Dad, this is my chance to get a horse. You've got to go home with a horse today. And I know she was telling him no, but I was like, Dad, you got to get this horse. Yeah. So kind of just went from there.
So yeah, we roll into kind of town for a family reunion, and left with a $250,000 horse. Yeah.
Because he lives for that thrill, you know, that excitement, that energy. And she begged us all through her young years to purchase a horse, which we got through all those years of raising her without purchasing any horses. And now everything has changed.
I think that it honestly stemmed because I was such a big horse lover and I wanted one my entire life, and now I have like 70 plus, so I'm like extremely happy. And I do try and take the time to like visit them all, and I always have the treats with me and I give them affection.
We've had a lot of luck early, right? So it doesn't hurt to make it exciting, make it fun. We won 3 Breeders' Cups together in the last, 2 years. Didn't know what the Breeders' Cup really was, going into it. I remember Mary Ryan, saying, Bob, this never happens. This never happens. There's a lot of numbers, as you know, in the sport. It's almost more overwhelming at some level. And you have, the analog and digital side. A lot of the breeders don't care about the numbers. They look at a horse and how it should match up, and they breed that way. And you guys like me who look at the numbers, and then I can kind of have a conference with Mike and defer to him ultimately on if this will work.
He has more energy than anyone I've ever met in my life before. He's got like that Midas touch, you know what I mean? He seems to never fail at anything.
I think a lot does have to do with luck, but we do have a lot of good people working with us, and I know my dad has spent like hours and hours and nights going through this and trying to be the best at the business, which he's got to be the best at everything he does. So I think it does take a lot of knowledge and skill to get where we are. But definitely luck too.
Why did this happen to us? And I can't answer that. We're blessed. I don't know. I can say we're just very fortunate. But I will say that there is a portion of luck involved, but Bob's business concept has always been like, hire the best and you'll get the best.
I bring the luck to the whole equation, right? So skill and smarts, I'm going to defer to Chad or Mike Ryan or Scott Pierce or any Rudy. It could be Brad Cox, whoever, Jimmy Toner, or Dave, all the guys that are training horses. Those guys are the I'm just the luck portion of it.
Incredible success that Bob Edwards and his family have had in such a little amount of time into this game. Not only New Money Honey winning the Breeders' Cup, rushing Fall, Good Magic, 2-year-old champion last year, ran in this year's Kentucky Derby, and Preakness. It's just been amazing.
Yeah, you can just tell by their body language as a family, karma is good when it comes to them. And so congratulations to them. And there is New Money Honey. Yeah, like I said, they just got that spirit for racing now, and it's good to get new people like that involved in it. And listen, they struck success. It just shows you you can just maybe get involved with a little piece, and you never know.
And everyone kind of forgetting about New Money Honey in the Grade 1 Diana. Everyone's talking about a raving beauty and Sister Charlie. She had a win on the comeback trail in her 4-year-old debut back on June 21st. If she can move forward off that, maybe she is in the mix as well. Start building your bankroll for the Travers Stakes in the Diana Stakes today. Bet $50 to win on one horse in the Diana with your Naira Bets account, and earn $20 for Travers Day, regardless if your pick wins or not. Head to NairaBets.com for the full bankroll builder schedule. We'll get to race 8 in a few minutes. Right now, are you ready for some football? Jake Gruden is in the house. Gabby Gaudette standing by with the coach of the Redskins.
Yes, very exciting stuff happening down here in the paddock. And Jay, you were kind of talking to me off air and saying that you've been coming up here for the last several years, but what got you started coming here to Saratoga?
A good friend of mine, Paul Gunther, is a defense coordinator for the Raiders now. We came up together one year and got hooked to it and came up ever since, last 5 years now.
What keeps you coming back?
Well, this whole city, this whole experience is awesome. I mean, you're here. I mean, the horses, the city, the stadium, the atmosphere, the history, it's all awesome.
Well, I am officially humbled today and for the rest of the meet by your comment there. But any horses that you're particularly looking forward to seeing here today, or any live bets that you want to give us?
Not really. I just love the competition. I love hanging out up there. Every time I walk by Chad Browning winks at me, and one of his horses always wins, it seems like. He's got 3 and a big one. So I just love the competition. Love watching these guys run and hopefully make a little bit of change every once in a while.
All right. Well, of course, as we have you here, we have to talk a little bit about football and Redskins coming up this season. Talk a little bit about the new quarterback, Alex Smith, and your hopes for him.
Oh, Alex is great. You know, he's a veteran guy, great leader. He comes in and has been through a lot of different situations, so I think he can jump right in and handle this offense. Terminology-wise, he's great, very smart. But I'm just excited about his ability to make plays that aren't always there. You know, the ad-lib plays that he's always been so good at. He beat us in Kansas City. He scrambled and threw a 60-yard pass to beat us when we played in Kansas City last year. So great guy, great player, obviously very well seasoned, and we're excited.
You seem like you got a lot of confidence in him.
I do. And I have a lot of confidence in the guys around him, too. You know, if we get our offensive linemen back healthy with Trent Williams and Morgan Moses and Brandon Sheriff and Sean Laval, Chase Roulier with the second year, and get our running backs back. Darius Geis has a lot to be excited about. Chris Thompson, get him back healthy. Jordan Reed, get him back healthy. We added Paul Richardson, a lot of speed. I think we have a great chance to be very good on offense.
It seems like you made a couple of changes last season, but riddled with injuries. But obviously, hopefully, staying clean here this season.
Yeah, you know, injuries do happen, and that's something we have to adjust to. And unfortunately, happened a lot at one position, this offensive line. We went through 30 different line combinations last year, but hopefully those big guys stay healthy and protect Alice and make holes for Darius and Chris Thompson.
Well, we're really looking forward to it, and best of luck. Hopefully you get some cash bets here today.
I'm going to listen to your picks and then just follow what you say.
Well, all right. We'll see how that goes. That's a lot of pressure here, Greg.
You can rise to the occasion. We're all going to be listening now, Gabby Gaudette. I'm so excited to see Alex Smith take over that offense for the Redskins.
Well, he's got a great offensive mind. He makes a good point. He's got the better legs than Kirk Cousins, and underrated quarterback. I feel like he's always gotten the bad rap since he's been in the league, yet he's also won a lot of games.
Race 8 is ahead. We went 1 mile and 3/8 in race 7. Now we're going to go 5.5 furlongs on the turf, shortening up just a touch, Andy and Tom.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting race. I think Tom and I could fill the time going from now to the gate. And you want to talk about 4 of them coming out of the same race. And it's an interesting race, actually. It was the 8th race on June 1st. Now, Conquest Tisfire finished second, might have run the best race because she chased a pace that collapsed. The horse who set the pace came back to win as a long shot next start. The 2-horse First Appeal, that horse was totally blocked the stretch. And the 11 horse in today's race, she had some trouble late in the race as well trying to close, Tom. Interesting race.
That's the horse that interests me, the 11 horse, Romantic Babe. This is a horse that was making a comeback race, almost a year layoff from last year, has won at Saratoga going 5.5 on the turf, and got a great setup that day. Got held up at the top of the stretch, wasn't going to win, hand-ridden the rest of the way. Money is showing on the 11, Romantic Babe. She's basically fighting for the second choice.
Well, she's the one who, she won her maiden impressively, visually impressively in her debut. I don't know why anybody would bet really proud out of that race, the 3-horse. She's the only one that had a clean trip. Another horse I'm very interested in is the 4 Cipollina for Wesley Ward. When she broke her maiden here last year, she ran a race fast enough to beat this field. That was as a 2-year-old. She's been terrible in her 2 starts this year, but Tom, she appears to have woken up in her recent workouts.
In her workouts, yes. In her races, no, Andy. That race at Suffolk, she did nothing in that race. Now,
I agree.
I mean, she was well beaten that day and just kind of went around there. When you start seeing fillies, and it happens a lot off layoffs, and they just seem to be going through the motions, it's hard to wager on those kind of horses.
No, I hear you. I took a shot with her. I feel like she's an all or nothing play, but I can understand a negative opinion as well.
Evens here. Post parade coming up. That was Sam the Bugler with the call to post, and we're going to see La Natural to kick things off. Jose Lezcano will be aboard this 3-year-old filly.
Yeah, and this is a horse that's going to actually cut that distance, actually down to 5.5 furlongs.
First appeal, trained by Linda Rice. Jose Ortiz rides.
Yeah, this horse had a troubled trip in his last start as the favorite and is in a similar spot today.
Really proud, the 3, Christophe Clement trainee, Joel Rosario aboard this Stunner Kitten's Joy.
The one thing she has going for is that Christophe Clement's barn has been extremely hot over the last month. Her PPs give her very little chance.
Andy was talking about Cipollina in her brilliant debut here last summer. She has struggled since for Wesley Ward.
Yeah, this one I think you need to watch the odds board on, and the odds are telling you that they're interested in this horse at the windows to win this race.
Beautiful streets. We'll see next. Julian Leperoux aboard for trainer Mark Casse. Just missed, going 5.5 on the turf at Churchill last start.
Much tougher field than she faced last time. She'd be a long shot.
Conquest Tisfire, the speedster here, the 5-year-old mare for James Lawrence, has Javier Castellano.
Great price at 7-1 on a really, really fast mare that runs her best races when she clears the field. Big chance of that happening here.
Rider change of the 9. Dylan Davis rides Emerald Quality for Patrick Kelly.
Emerald Quality appears to be overmatched against this group.
Battle Joined is the 10. We'll see for Mark Hennig. Down at Warfront, Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
If there's other speed that can go with the 6, Conquest Tisfire, it's the 10. Battle Joined. She's probably the speed of the speed.
And Romantic Babe, a 2016 Fasig-Tipton, Kentucky October grad for David Donk, has Manny Franco in the irons.
As discussed, needed her last race, had a little late traffic trouble. Will she get the pace to run into, and can she improve second time as a 3-year-old?
So that is your field here for race 8 coming up. Pick 4 begins in this race, 573,000 plus. And growing in that pool as we take a look at Battle Joined here for Mark Hennig and the victory last time out, Paul.
Yeah, and it was a good victory. The horse broke very, very sharply. They went insanely fast in 20 and 4. And then just took over the lead and just kept on going and went 107 and change and did it nicely at about 8-1. You know, the horse that ran second in this race got triple life and could not go by. It was not even close to going by. I thought the 2 was absolutely giant last time out. Whether she can step it up against this field remains to be seen, and she gets the 10 post, but you see the stats not that good at 9% for Mark Hennig.
Yeah, just 2 for 22, breaking the maiden last time out on the turf over the last 5 years, and then returning. We'll see if he can overcome that small percentage here with Battle Join as the pick 4 gets underway. Reset the show right now. That's the whole thing. Opening weekend continues at the premier race meet in the country. The opening Saturday of Saratoga 2018. Sister Charlie, she has top billing in the Grade 1. Diana, the first Grade 1 of the meet, one of 3 lining up in that race. For trainer Chad Brown, who's looking to win it for a 3rd consecutive year. He will also send out a Raving Beauty. She has been perfect in 2 starts since arriving here in the United States. Her biggest challenge could be her stablemates. Proctor's Ledge, something on her resume that no one else could say. She is a perfect 2 for 2 at Saratoga, the only one in the field to win here at this race course. Both of those wins coming in graded stakes. And we'll take a look back at the social media sensation with a ghost white face. Southern Phantom, the debut happened earlier today. Look at that face. We'll see how he did back in race 6. Welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Fans taking in the sights and sounds of a tremendous opening weekend here in Saratoga Springs, the summer place to be at this historic racetrack. As we continue along with opening weekend here. Great opening day on Friday, and now our first Grade 1 of the meet coming up here in the Grade 1 Diana in race 10. Greg Wolf alongside Paula Duca. We have Andy Serling, Tom Amos with us as well, Gabby Gaudet, and Maggie Wolfendale, who we join right now.
Thanks, Greg. And we'll take a look at your current favorite in number 2. That is First Appeal. She likes it here at the Spa, that's for sure. 2 of her wins here out of 3 starts. And this is a filly that I feel like has looked great in at least her first 2 efforts of 2018. She came back with a win at Belmont, and both of those efforts over a good course, which arguably she prefers it firm, and pretty firm that it is here at Saratoga. Now, she was pretty energetic in her pre-race warm-up beneath Irad Ortiz. When he got turned loose from the pony, she kind of threw her head up in the air and went to take off with him, but Irad, being the good rider that he is, did not panic and just put his hands down. So that's relaying to me that she definitely has go on her mind, and her game face is worn here today. Moving on to number 4, Cipollina. She is kind of second off of a layoff, and her lone win did come here at Saratoga as well for trainer Wesley Ward. And it looks as though she's training pretty well heading into this effort, and she's another one that's very sharp in here. She came out on the track and kind of kicked up her heels a little bit. She looks very well conditioned. Now, she hasn't grown much from 2 to 3, but that's okay in my opinion with these turf sprinters. They don't have to. I'm wondering if she can get back and find some of that speed that she showed first time out, at least some tracking speed here, Greg, because I think that's where she's most competitive.
Well, that's what she was able to do in that brilliant debut that Andy Serling told us. If she can repeat that race that she ran as a 2-year-old, she probably beats this field. She has not been able to get back to it, though, in 2 starts since. With more on Cipollina, let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I did get the chance to speak to Wesley Ward before he actually put the saddle on this filly, because I was curious why they decided to ship her back here after 2 really mediocre or subpar performances. And he said he does not know what happened to her last time out at Suffolk. She didn't necessarily ship well. She just kind of laid an egg in that race, so to speak. But he said since she's come up here, she's really thrived and blossomed. So I would not be surprised if we see a performance like the one that she did in her debut, which too was at Saratoga. So at least I got a little bit of a confidence vibe from Wesley on the 4 Cipollina. So very interesting. But I do prefer the 2 First Appeal as for all those reasons that Maggie was kind of alluding to, Greg.
Well, the public agrees. First Appeal, the 2 filly, the 5-2 favorite right now.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought the 10's getting played, but I thought the 10 was a player in here. Doesn't get a great post position, but I'm surprised the 3's not getting played here at 6-1, because I think this is a horse that could be in the mix.
And Tom Amos, I like your thinking. Romantic Babe for David Donk. Intriguing runners. We send it back downstairs.
Yeah, I did want to talk a little about the 10 Battle Joint. I think the question with her is whether or not you can be confident that she's going to come back and run as well as she did last time. It's very important to know. You can see the fractions, 20-4, 43-3. I don't care how firm the turf gets. That's cooking. The horse she dueled with was 5-2 and finished dead last, Tom. Her performance last time was nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, she set a fast pace. She held on, fought off all challenges. But, Andy, when you're shortening up, even a 16th of a mile, going from 6 furlongs to 5.5 furlongs, you start bringing more speed into the race than you might have in other spots. Can she clear this field? Can she have it her way like she could at 6 furlongs at Belmont? That remains to be seen.
But she didn't have it her way last time. She was dueling last time, don't forget.
Look, when you're 2 in front of the 3/8 pole, you're getting a chance to take a breather.
I hear you, but she was breathing down the neck of another horse in that race, or she had a horse breathing down her neck. She was down on the inside. It's not as though she didn't have competition in the front end, and that competition finished dead last as the co-favorite.
I'm not going to argue about how fast she went. She went really fast, and she ran a great race. But she did clear the field at one point and get a chance to relax a little bit.
As a trainer, does it concern you, even coming back 5 weeks later, that she just might not be able to duplicate that effort?
not only does it concern you, but you always miss the signs because they're never present about whether you're running back too quickly or not off a big race. Is she eating up? Is she training well? Is she enthusiastic? All those things can be the case, and yet they can lay an egg.
We'll see what happens, guys. This is a very intriguing race.
Certainly is. It seemed like one where you definitely wanted some coverage here. This begins the late pick 4 up and over $900,000 in the pick 4 pool.
Yeah, I would think between another couple of turns, we're going to get over $1 million very easily here. Yesterday, it paid $440 for 50 cents. I think it's going to pay a little bit more today. And you can go so many different ways in these turf sprints. It makes them very, very intriguing.
Favorite just moved in. First appeal with Jose Ortiz. We are set for the start of the late pick 4. On the first Saturday of the meet here from Saratoga. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
Last few runners moving into line now. Emerald Quality has stepped up to the gate. Here's Cipollina. Battle Joined going in, and Romantic Babe will complete the line here. Battle Joined right now a slight 3-1 favorite as Romantic Babe steps up and in, and they're all in line. They're off. Cipollina missed the break. Battle Joined and Conquest His Fire out for the lead together with Beautiful Street Away running in third. La Naturelle is fourth on the inside. Then First Appeal racing on the inside of Really Proud up the backstretch. Romantic Babe is next. And then comes Cipollina, and the trailer is Emerald Quality as they race for the far turn. And Battle Joined has opened up on the competition here. 22:09 the opening quarter mile, and now the lead is 2.5. Conquest His Fire is second by the same Beautiful Street third. And then it's Really Proud in fourth. La Naturelle fifth on the inside, a good 6.5 lengths off the lead. And First Appeal is under pressure as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Still about 6 to make up. They're into the stretch. Battle Joined in front. Conquest His Fire draws up alongside with 1 furlong to go. La Naturelle is third, Beautiful Street fourth, and then comes Really Proud on the outside. Not today for First Appeal. It is Conquest His Fire. Battle Joined fights back on the inside. La Naturelle third. Battle Joined, Conquest His Fire. La Naturelle, Battle Joined. Battle Joined would not be denied. Beating Conquest His Fire and La Naturelle. Then Beautiful Street in 101.8.
How did Battle Join re-rally and come back and get this win? Irad Ortiz Jr. again, now back-to-back wins.
This is 2 straight times that she's been as game as they come. Not quite as fast a pace as last time, though. With the rails out, they're still moving up front. This is a horse who has really turned a corner for trainer Mark Hennig.
Has indeed. You know, maybe those blinkers, she didn't get the chance to see the 6-horse on her outside until she was right there with her. But you saw it in her race before, Andy. She's a fighter to the end.
Yeah, she really is. I tell you what, she's ran 2 exciting races. Wow, she stops the clock in 1:01.4, which is smoking fast. Listen, La Naturelle likes to hang a little bit, but, you know, the other horse was by her a little bit, and there he is, Mark Hennig, a.k.a. John Daly.
Yeah, heading to the winner's circle, giving Gabby a little bit of love. What heart. I mean, the 10 was done here. 6-horse. Conquest His Fire passes this one, and it is over, but somehow re-rallies down on the inside. That is not an easy spot to come back from.
I think as Paul learned last time, this is not an easy horse to pick up in the stretch under any circumstances.
Let's go downstairs to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg, here with Mark Hennig. And wow, this was some performance from this horse fighting back on the inside today, huh?
Yeah, she's really come back strong this year. You know, she's we thought a lot of her before, and she had all these little quirks about her, but she's kind of put it all together with some maturity.
And you said that she's kind of turned things around this season. What do you attribute to that?
Well, one thing we've been trying to lay off the whip with her, because she doesn't. You could see the one time he reached and hit her, her tail started spinning, and I think Irad realized that didn't make her move forward. So I think that's when that horse kind of surged past her, and then he put the stick away and was kind of showing it to her and riding her with in his left hand. But I thought Irad did a great job on her.
She's got a lot of natural talent and put it all together today and last time. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks a lot, Gabby.
Okay.
Winds up going off the favorite. Here she is again. She's in front at this point, but here comes Conquest His Fire, who looks like she's going to roll right on by.
Yeah, she is by, right? And look at the one, La Naturelle. She's starting off a wrong lead, and she's trying as hard as she can, but
was there a little bump there, too?
I don't know. We've seen some horses come out a little bit today. They did make a change earlier, and Irad with 2 wins on the card. And
it's official.
It's official, yeah.
But it looked like
this horse got hit late. We talked about it late with Battle Join and Mark Hennig, that she ran such a big race. And what Andy was referring to, tapping colors that day was 1-5, and this Battle Join had a duel go 20-4 and put away a 1-5 shot. Did it again today to stamp herself as a pretty good sprinting filly here.
So Battle Join, back-to-back wins, is game as can be in this victory. And back-to-back wins for that man, Irad Ortiz Jr. We're going to take a break. The Grade 3 Sanford for the 2-year-old Colts. Coming up next, Sambaye for Todd Pletcher, the one to beat.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired, New York-bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York-bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires. 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes and world record-setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much-anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Greg Wolf, Paula Duca with you. And race 8 in the books, it was Battle Joined. Trainer Mark Hennig, Cortland Farms, Irad Ortiz Jr., your winning connections.
Yeah, congratulations. Filly by Warfront and the Mrs. Massmare strike the bell now 2 for 6 lifetime. And she's got some giddy up, and she's got some game, and she's got a little bit of a future too.
I think this has been my favorite win we've seen. It's early in the meet, but to come back the way she did, that was pretty special. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, thank you. And the pleasure to be joined by Mr. Donald Adam of Cortland Farm. And Mr. Adam, I mean, an incredible performance by your filly Battle Joined. To come back as she did, you are beaming from ear to ear with a proud.
Well, I am. I thought for a moment the 6 horse was going to go on by her, but she doesn't, as you indicated a moment ago, she doesn't like to be hit. And when he put his stick away, she just came back and took the lead, and I guess she won by half a length. And to do that evidences true grit, and one that has apparently a lot of ability. And but it was fun because she won the last time out down at Belmont, and she actually finished second one time on the dirt.
Right.
And but hopefully she'll run farther than 5.5 furlongs. But it was neat to see her win today.
She is just wicked fast, that's for sure. And, you know, you talk about stretching her out. Do you feel as though she's a filly, you just kind of let her do her thing and she finds her best stride?
Well, when you look at her, she's a long filly, long in the barrel, and has a big stride for no bigger than she is. You would think that she could run farther than 5.5 furlongs, and hopefully she can, but as long as she can do well at this distance, I'm not sure how anxious we're going to do to change her. So
that is true.
It's up to Mark.
He is the best conditioner, I'm sure, in your eyes, and job well done with him in getting her to win again. But how good does it feel to get this first win of the season at Saratoga?
Well, it's wonderful. We had one in yesterday that we thought would have a good chance, and she bolted on the turn. And amazingly, she ran the last quarter faster than anyone in the field. But she was coming down the middle of the track, and she must have gone, I don't know how many lengths out from all the rest of them. But it's something about her. And earlier at Gulfstream, she had a bad case with the head. Mm-hmm. And so we've been very cautious with her, and we thought maybe she was over it, but apparently not. But we'll have to go back to school on her. But yes, having a win early in the season, and I think if we're blessed, we'll have a few more.
Well, I hope you do as well. Congratulations, though, and savor this one with Battle Joined.
Thank you, Maggie.
Very nice talking with Mr. Adam. Greg, back to you.
He got involved in racing back in 1995 after a meeting with Will Farish of Lane's End, former U.S. ambassador to Great Britain. One of the good ones they had, Filmmaker, who placed in 3 straight editions of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
Yeah, really consistent mare. And there you see the late pick 5 follow along, $255,000. Great pool. Call Provision gets the job done. Battle Join gets the job done. A $20 double for $2, but the pick 3s are okay if you're alive.
The Naira Bets late pick 5. It is an incredible play. The pick 4 yesterday paid $446. The pick 5, almost $11,000. Those both for 50-cent wagers. Incredible value.
And the only difference was an 8-to-1 shot. We're not talking a 50-to-1 shot or anything like that. So basically, you got so much value out of that one horse.
And of course, Saturdays, $300,000 minimum single ticket payout for Naira Bets customers. Only go to nairabets.com for all the details. Grade 3 Sanford, the 2-year-old boys in action after we saw the fillies in the Schuylerville on opening day. And Todd Pletcher, he has won this race 6 times before. He'll send out Sombaye and Lexitonian.
Both with big shots. Lexitonian, a winner first time out at Belmont. Sombaye, winner first time out at Gulfstream, and then had trouble in the Tremont out of the gate and ran a very good second that day.
Every day the Saratoga meet, use the Naira Bets app to place a $1 base trifecta bet on a selected stakes, and you earn a 10% winner's bonus. Today's race is the Sanford Stakes. So download the Naira Bets app, get your bet in, and earn that 10% bonus just like that. Or take some selfies as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. More coming up. 2-year-olds in action in the Grade 3 Sanford next.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Bayard turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm, and a look at downtown Saratoga Springs. The nightlife in this town, it's pretty good. Average. Broadway Historic District, got to visit. So many things to do here, so much entertainment. I got to get to SPAC this year as well. SaratogaVisit.com, where you want to go to see everything that's going on around town. It's not just about the racing here.
It really isn't. There's so much to do here. And a lot of other stuff, and boutique type stuff, and the eclecticness of the food too, the variety that you can get here. You can get always a good meal around the Saratoga downtown.
So much to do, so much to see, and of course, a trip to the racetrack is a must if you're coming to Saratoga Springs. Time for a look at what's trending in horse racing, and we're going to kick things off with Steve Asmussen getting another runner in his barn when some big names have shifted to his barn. Midnight Bisou, now Bolt Doro.
Yeah, this is Bolt Doro. Okay, we had Accelerate up there. Yeah, and listen, the Roosters, they make decisions, and they decided that they wanted to move him to the Asmussen barn, and they think that's going to be better for the horse.
He was the horse to beat as a 2-year-old until that defeat to Good Magic at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Wound up 12th in the Kentucky Derby, but it was Mick Ruiz who made this call.
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, he's not afraid to make this call. At one time, he fired his daughter and then rehired her.
Accelerate, meanwhile, thought we're going to see this horse today in the San Diego, and Del Mar on the West Coast scratched out of that race and now could be coming to Saratoga for the Whitney.
Which would be actually very, very exciting. He's a nice horse. I think he's got quality enough to come up here and compete. I think that would be a treat for a lot of us, California horses. They do well when they come up here.
Where do you think he fits into the picture? I mean, obviously, extremely talented runner. That Whitney shaping up as a very interesting race.
It's true.
Mind Your Biscuit's going to be stretching out.
Well, I think that's the thing why Accelerate might be coming here, because a lot of New York trainers and the older division is a little weak over here, like Mind Your Biscuit's trying to stretch that closing sprinter speed out. They're thinking maybe that Accelerate could be the favorite.
Now, one of the many big targets, guys, that we still have ahead here at this meet as we're just getting underway, but that Whitney shaping up is a very exciting race.
I mean, at this point, Accelerate has to be considered the top handicap horse or older horse in the country.
Oh, there
going
you go
long.
again. Jeez, did
He
you
isn't?
do this a couple years ago?
What you? Oh,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you're
No,
waiting to
it's
challenge me.
It's a Dubai World Cup, so
Yeah.
clearly Thunder Snow. Tom thinks Thunder Snow is the clear horse of the year favorite, probably over Justify. Myself, I think Accelerate's been pretty darn good out in California. I didn't know he was talking about the Whitney. I'm excited.
Done very well, and you should be. And as far as the change that Ruiz is making with Bolt d'Oro, don't think that Midnight Bijou's performance under the Asmussen stable when she came to his way didn't have a little bit to do with that.
Okay, now I'm completely confused, but I think I know where Tom was going, but it's all about Thunder Snow down here. I don't know what Maggie thinks. We'll see what Maggie thinks of Thunder Snow, but Accelerate the Whitney's an exciting idea.
Thunder Snow, one of the more intriguing horses out there, but I kind of got what Tom was saying about Steve Asmussen, and that I think he was alluding to the fact that he's loaded for bear this year, especially with his 2-year-olds. And while Todd Pletcher, he always holds a firm hand in these situations, in these 2-year-old stakes. I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Asmussen walks away with this Sanford here today. First, we'll start, though, with the one that opened up as favorite, and that is number 7, Bagno Solo. And he looks fast, as his first race would suggest here. And he's shorter coupled, shorter in stature. And he's very professional here in the paddock as well. I like him, but from a physical perspective, I like Steve's other horse in here a whole lot more, and that is number 4, Whiskey Echo. Gets Lasix now for this start here. I know that race came up slow, but there's a vast improvement with this runner from first race to second race, and I am talking about number 4, Whiskey Echo in here. First of all, he's a beautifully framed. He's so elegant. He's so perfectly balanced. He just is so appeasing to your eye. Secondly, he was very green actually in the paddock that day, and now with the addition of the Lasix, he's so much more relaxed, professional, well within himself. He's just made a perfect impression on me here as Irad Ortiz gets the leg up. Now, Jose Ortiz will be aboard number 6 in here, Chase Greatness, who did win an off-the-turf event. I'm never the biggest fan of those coming in here, especially you have to think that they thought about the turf with that pedigree overall. But I will say he's an impressive type physically, and that he is a lot more mature than some of the others in here. He's stocky. He's got a lot of depth to him. Very well muscled here for trainer Horacio De Paz, who is another guy who can be sneaky good with these types of horses, these young 2-year-olds. So he's intriguing and he'll offer a little bit of value. But the horse on the outside, Strike Silver, was certainly flattered by Nitrous coming back and stomping on a field in race number 6. And this is a good-looking horse. He and Whiskey Echo are definitely the most appealing here in the paddock. He has a great head and eye to him, a very honest head and eye. And he was eyeballed by Nitrous as well, and he dug in and was very game. And we've seen these Mark Casse 2-year-olds, especially the ones that have kind of established themselves, run very good. So I'm interested in Strike Silver as well. Andy, who do you like here?
Well, I'll tell you what I really like. I like Curlin. And he's standing at Hillendale, and Hillendale, of course, sponsors that paddock report we just got from Maggie Wolfendale, and I agree about Strike Silver. I think it's very important to note what Maggie said. This is a horse that beat Nitrous last time, and Nitrous was green in that race and probably should have won. But they buried the rest of the field. Nitrous was super impressive breaking his maiden today.
Yeah, so originally, Casse had 2 in this race, the 5, Dreammaker, and Strike Silver. Both were ridden by Leparoux. Leparoux chose the 5, Dreammaker. Of course, with the scratch, he now moves to the 8 and takes over and is going to be riding the 8 horse. But to me, that suggests that this is the second-best Casse horse that was entered.
Yeah, well, we won the stake yesterday. It could be tough. Todd Pletcher's got 2 in here, the 2 Sambaye and the 1 Sambaye, I should say, and the 2 Lexitonian. Sambaye, you know, I picked this horse second, Tom, but the more I looked, I know he broke a little slow last time, but he got a very good trip thereafter, and I think his race looks better on paper than it actually was.
Yeah, look, both times he hasn't broke well in both of his starts, and if he doesn't break well today, he's not going to win. So I mean,
broke a step slow, not terribly, but then he kind of takes himself out of the race, right?
He does indeed, and a lot of his other horse, Lexitonian, the 2 horse of Pletcher's, is the same deal. He doesn't really understand what he's doing from an inside post when he breaks, and then gets it going late. So these 2 horses of Pletcher's, as well as a lot of the Pletcher horses we've seen a number of his horses, his young horses, not leave the gate well.
It's absolutely shocking how it continues to happen. It happened yesterday. Lexitonian, on the other hand, and we'll continue and look at Sambaye. I just think Sambaye after that got a terrific ride by Luis Saez, came out in the stretch, split horses. The winner of the race came up the rail and was closer to the pace. I don't know what his excuse was not to win this race, Tom.
Yeah, and that race, that setup is very similar to what Lexingtonian's first start was here at Belmont as well. A horse that sat on the rail, had to wait a little bit, found a gap, but he did take off at the end of the race.
Lexingtonian, you're talking about
Yes.
the two? Yeah, I just also felt that field got a little hungry in the stretch, and it's nice and professional to see a horse come through on the inside, but I wasn't overly impressed with the race.
When you're looking at these two-year-old races, Andy, particularly when trainers like Pletcher, like Asmussen, like Cassie, have more than one in the race, these guys often work horses in company, and it's important to see if the works match up against one another, and they do with the Pletcher duo as well as the Asmussen duo.
The Asmussen horses, to me, I mean, you don't want to make too much of their debuts. They seemed a little on the slow side. Everybody else looked a little bit faster to me.
I like the idea of Whiskey Echo, the 4-horse, getting Lasix the first time after winning pretty easily. I think that could be a helpful move to move forward in the second start.
I took a shot with a 6, Chase Greatness. I figured it was an impossible race, guys. I would just take a long shot, and I think this is a horse that ran fast enough to win it last time. It was a sloppy track, but he's a price.
Post parade coming up momentarily here for the Grade 3 Sanford. They were talking about the issues with Todd Pletcher and his 2-year-olds getting out of the gate. We saw it actually twice yesterday with 2 of his 2-year-old fillies. It happened with Blahnik back in race 5, didn't get out well, and then in the feature, the Schuylerville Nona Madeline didn't get out well either. Post parade brought to you by OCD Pellets. Build stronger bone with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, visit OCDPellets.com. Thank you, Sam the Bugler, for our call to post. Great crowd on hand here. These are just everyone we squeeze in the paddock area.
Yes, they're just waiting for the horses to sort of clear, and then they got a little path that they go through. The horses actually walk through the people too, so they got to make sure they go through the walk-through area and then onto here.
Why do we do?
Sambaye, we will start things off with, trained by Todd Pletcher, one of 2 he has in this field for Starlight Racing, and Javier Castellano rides.
Well, we just talked about it. This horse has to leave the gate correctly, something he has yet to do to run his best race today.
Pletcher's won this race 6 times before. His other runner, Lexingtonian, John Velasquez, will be aboard for Calumet Farm.
Rode the rail to the win last time. I thought a good win, professional win, and the horse to beat.
Ben Colebrook trains Knicks Go for KRA Stud Farm. Luis Saez aboard, debuted and won at Ellis.
This is a fast colt. He'll try to take him gate to wire.
Whiskey Echo, the 4, trained by Steve Asmussen, a son of Tiz Now. Irad Ortiz Jr. rides for Winchell Thoroughbreds.
This horse has got a bullet drill coming into this race, 2 back, and you know, a good first race, and lures Irad Ortiz Jr. looking for a 3-bagger.
Chase Greatness, Jose Ortiz will ride for Horatio De Paz and Sagamore Farm.
So yeah, Chase Greatness, a more than ready colt here. That was a winner over a sloppy race. Like, always tough to gauge those, you know, kind of races.
Baño Solo for Steve Asmussen and Winchell Thoroughbreds. Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard.
This is one of the easiest winners we saw at the Churchill Downs meet, the spring meet. In his debut, he was the favorite that day. I think he'll be prominently placed.
And Mark Cassie looking to sweep the 2-year-old weekend stakes. He won the Schuylerville yesterday. Here's Strike Silver for him and John Oxley.
You know, this horse was very, very fast first time out and seized the lead. I was very measured win by a neck, and currently at 7-2.
Going to take a break in the action. The Grade 3 Sanford is coming up. We will have it for you next, right after this on Saratoga Live. Stay tuned.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase. He won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. There is our track photographer that we met earlier in the show in another edition of I Am, Chelsea Duran, capturing all those terrific snapshots of the equine athletes and everything else happening around the racetrack.
Yeah, she does an amazing job. A lot of unsung heroes around the racetrack. And she's got some great shots, too, that she's done over the wintertime. And you could always go to her website and buy some of her stuff, too, and frame it. It's really cool to frame black and white.
Here is Chase Greatness. And Maggie Wolfendale said these connections can be sneaky sometimes with her 2-year-olds. Trained by Horatio de Paz, a more than ready colt for Sagamore Farm.
Yeah, Sagamore can get them ready. And listen, they put blinkers on this colt by More Than Ready last time. Now, did the sloppy racetrack or the blinkers work? I don't know which one, but the horse was actually very, very game. Sort of got passed late, then dug in, and had the 1 hole that day. So now gets a little bit better slot at 8-1.
Standing by with the trainer of the horse we were just looking at, the 6 Chase Greatness. Let's go to Gabby Gaudette.
Yeah, good timing, Greg. And talking to Horacio de Paz, just talk a little bit about Chase Greatness and what you thought improved him in a second start last time out.
I think the blinkers definitely helped. He was a little bit sharper leaving the gate. And obviously the experience that he had off the first race helped him out. So that's kind of been the biggest key.
He does have a pedigree to like the off track, but do you think that he's just getting better with the blinkers and maturity?
Yes, I think he'll probably, hopefully, possibly end up on the grass, but, the way that he ran at Churchill, we wanted to give it a try before we do that. So, but, we'll see how he runs today.
Now, you came into last Saratoga with an arsenal of really good 2-year-olds and just horses in general. What are the hopes for this meet moving forward?
Well, hopefully you can always do what you did, the years previous if it was a good meet. But they've been a little bit slow this year with our 2-year-olds. They're just a little bit later maturing. But hopefully we've got some lined up for Saratoga and we'll be fine.
All right, well, best of luck here.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go out to track and see what Maggie has to say.
Thanks, Gabby, and want to talk a little bit about warm-ups that I saw out here. Starting with number 2, Lexitonian, a horse like many of the Todd Pletcher horses or 2-year-old first-time starters we've seen this year, did not get away that cleanly. Seems as though Johnny Velasquez, mindful of that, took him away from the pony. It's not untypical for Johnny to do this with Todd horses, but wondering if this guy will get away a little bit better. Seems as though with Sombaye, he's a horse that they've already established that that's kind of his running style to kind of take back a little bit. But tale of 2 different warm-ups, certainly, as we'll go to number 3, Nick's Go, one that did show a lot of speed, was very quick from the gate. Don't know what he beat. It was at the Pea Patch at Ellis Park. But he's been taken straight over to the chute here by jockey Luis Saez and has just basically been walking with the pony and just kind of been tiptoeing on his toes. So that's usually a horse that they want to try to keep quiet, conserve that energy because he is naturally fast and is going to break well. So he's not a bad-looking type either for trainer Ben Colebrook, who is another one that flies under the radar but does very good. His horses are always brought over to the race is looking in fine fettle, as this is a very intriguing edition of the Sanford, Greg.
Indeed, it is a race with a long history. Well, in golf, they call it the yips. I don't know if they call it maybe stumbleitis with horses not getting out of the gate. Well, whatever you do call it, Todd Pletcher's barn has had that a little bit of late, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a concern. I'm sure Todd is concerned. And listen, every horse is an individual, Tom. You ever feel like you got your barn, something's going on, and it sort of transfers from one horse to the other?
Yeah, I mean, the sneaky suspicion, and I don't have anything to back it up, is wherever these horses are preparing, they're perhaps preparing at a place where they're not doing enough with them out of the gate, and they're just having to learn on the job.
And then you draw the 2 inside posts with these horses. Now, I'm curious what you guys think in general. Which one of the 2 Pletcher horses do you prefer?
I prefer Lexitonian, and the reason why is I liked his first effort. Now, his last effort, I guess you can look at that and say, wow, that was a phenomenal effort in the Tremont, but I don't know. I think this horse was well meant more for here than the one was, but we'll see.
Tom, you have a preference of either one of them? I prefer the one Sombaye, but I think it's a bit of a coin flip.
Well, the work pattern would say to prefer the one Sombaye, because chances are on July the 14th, these two horses worked together. Only 11 horses went the distance that day on the Saratoga training track. These were two of them, and they went at the same exact distance on the same exact day. Sommelier was better that day.
Does it mean anything to you guys that John Velasquez sticks on Lexitonian? Because I don't know if it's the case, but sometimes he has the choice, and he certainly has ridden for Starlight, who owns the one-horse Sambaye in the past.
Do you want to play the jockey again? It's a tough game to play.
It is, because you get Castellano, and you're wondering, did Johnny get the call, or did Todd say, listen, or Calumet say, listen, we want Johnny back on the horse because he won?
Yeah, a lot
on
can go into it.
Yeah, a lot could go into
But
it.
interesting to point out, for sure, as we take a look at Whiskey Echo, the 4, and Irad Ortiz Jr. will be back aboard for Steve Asmussen. Of course, Steve has won this race 3 times before, and he has a pair of runners in this spot, including the 7 Bagno Solo. Whiskey Echo right now at 6-1. With more on this runner, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg, I'm going to take my shot here with Whiskey Echo, but I don't know if you can get a close-up as he is on the other side now of the pony, but he was being brought to the gate with a halter and shank. We don't normally see that. We just see horses with the pony strap attached to the bit. That's probably because he was such a naughty boy at first asking, and I asked Irad, did he have that on first time, and he did not think that he was brought to the gate with that. So considering this guy has been so much better behaved, he's so much more professional, now you wonder, do you kind of take the spice out of his life and kind of controlling him so much? I don't know, but I think it's a good sign that he's that much more professional, Greg.
Well, all these horses here, lightly raced, and then race to race, they can improve just by leaps and bounds. So you really don't know who's going to take that next step. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, you're right. And Bagno Solo, the 7, the other Asmussen runner, is taking all the money here at 7-2. And Larry Colmus came over to us a little bit earlier to make sure we got that name right, because the owners texted him. That might be a good sign that the owner thinks Bagno Solo might be in the winner's circle.
Yeah, said the good ones, like the gun runners, things like that, they bathe alone. The other ones in groups, and this one they were thinking is one that could Bagno Solo and bathe alone and maybe be a real good one. Back in 1919 in this race, it was the 7th running of the Sanford. The great Man of War suffered his only defeat to upset. What will happen in this running? We're about to find out. It's the Grade 3 Sanford for 2-year-olds. Let's go upstairs to Larry Colmus for the call.
Ready for the start. They're off in the Sanford. Bagno Solo fires out fast to take the lead. Strike Silver goes right with him. These two to set the pace. Whiskey Echo away running in 3rd. Lexitonian is 4th, and Sambaye to the inside. And they're followed by Chase Greatness and Knicks Go as the trailer. Bagno Solo and Strike Silver 1-2 in the Sanford past the half-mile pole. These two run by that first quarter mile in 22.26 seconds side by side. Lexitonian is 3rd on the outside of Sambaye. And then it's Whiskey Echo. On the far outside, Chase Greatness, and right between those two is Knicks Go as they round the far turn. Bagno Solo and Strike Silver matching strides on the lead here. And these two have been vying for command all the way so far. They've run a half in 45.49, and they're into the stretch. Bagno Solo on the outside, Strike Silver. Sambaye comes on the attack on the outside. Furlong to run. Strike Silver to the front. Sambaye on the outside. Bagno Solo's down toward the rail. Whiskey Echo is 4th. It is Strike Silver, and here comes Sambaye. And here comes Sambaye on the outside to score in the Sanford. And then it was Strike Silver, followed by Whiskey Echo and Bagno Solo in 1:10.35.
Todd Pletcher, you saw him right there. A 7th win in the Sanford, and Sambaye gets the job done.
Great job and a great setup for the Pletcher horse, Sambaye, the 1 horse. Give a lot of credit to Strike Silver, who battled it out on the front end and fought hard till the end of the race. Pletcher the best here, and when we looked at the works of the two Pletcher horses, it pointed to the one, Saint-Magnier.
Yeah, he got the right trip, and he got the right ride by Javier Castellano. I believe that's Javier's second win today. And I agree with everything that Tom said. Strike Silver was a very hard luck loser. Battled into the wire. The other horse he dueled with finished well behind them. This was a terrific race, a nice effort by both the first two finishers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The 4 did run on nicely for third, but much the best. You see Todd going to go down to collect his 7th trophy. When you get 7 trophies, do you even stick them up, or you just stick them back to back?
He's running out of room, I'm sure.
Right?
But big effort, as the guys downstairs mentioned. Strike Silver, Mark Casse with the 8 horse in here trying to sweep these 2-year-old weekend stakes. Ran huge in defeat.
Yeah, giant. Here's what happens. You end up winning the battle, but you don't win the war because you end up putting that horse away, and then you got to deal with a fresh horse, and that's what ended up happening here.
Saint-Magnier gives Todd Pletcher another Sanford. Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
And here with jockey Javier Castellano. And Saint-Magnier, actually your first time aboard him, though, Javi, though he's one of the horses in the field that had the most racing experience. How much did that pay off today?
Absolutely, it paid off today. She broke good out of the gate today. And unfortunately, last time she stumbled a little bit. And I watched the replay. I made sure break good out of the gate. She took advantage of the pose. She had great pose. Mr. Pletcher did a great job with the horse. He gave me the confidence to ride the horse. I think it paid off today.
It certainly did, and just narrowly defeated last time out. And Javi, just looking forward briefly to the next race in the Grade 1 Diana, aboard a horse that you've been with several times, and New Money Honey. Got back to the races in winning fashion last time. What can we expect from her today?
I love the feeling. She's always very consistent. And I like the way she come back last time. She won the layoff. She did it the right way. I'm looking for my goal today and try to get a good position. Let me speak to Mr. Brown and see what his strategy he had in the race. But looking forward to the end, Diana.
Well, you're starting off the graded stakes portion of this car in the right kind of way. Congratulations here, Javi.
Thank you, Mikey.
All right, Saint-Magnier, all class here, guys, down on the track.
Absolutely, and there's only one horse that could sweep the 2-year-old stakes here at the meet. Of course, the Saratoga Special, the Hopeful, happened later on in the meet. Only 4 horses have ever accomplished that. The last was City Zip back in 2000. And Saint-Magnier maybe add his name to that list. Gonna enjoy this victory first. This horse now 2 for 3 in his career for the son of Into Mischief. As we have the Grade 1 Diana, the first Grade 1 of the meet up next. Sister Charlie for trainer Chad Brown. Grade 1 winner of the Jenny Wiley. Trying to return to the winner's circle and add a second Grade 1 since coming to the States next.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
We've been fortunate to have a lot of good things happen to us up here, but I think Left Bank's Whitney win We've been fortunate to have a lot of good things happen to us up here, but I think we've been fortunate to have a lot of good things happen to us up here, but I think Left Bank's Whitney win and Flower Alley's our first Travers win. Those two certainly are ones we'd like to enjoy remembering.
A lot of great memories for that man right there, Todd Pletcher, and adding a new memory with another win, his 7th in the Sanford for 2-year-olds. Welcome back to Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. He has owned this race. We should have known.
Yeah, congratulations to the son of Into Mischief out of the Limehouse mare Tarota. Now 2 for 3 lifetime. Congratulations, Starlight Racing. And Javier Castellano gave this horse a perfect ride. And there you see the win photo as the 8 Strike Silver, Mr. Oxley's charge, ran very well.
And wins by a head as we take a look at the Naira Bets lead pick 5 follow along, 255,000 in the pool. No bust out long shot yet, but we still have a couple of races to go, including the Grade 1 Diana still to come. Let's go downstairs to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. We're here with winning trainer Todd Pletcher with Sombaye getting the victory today. Todd, talk a little bit about this horse and just how much he's built upon his first 2 performances, because we kind of saw a different horse today.
I was actually surprised that he showed as much pace as he did today. It seems like, it's taken him a little while to figure out. He's not an overzealous horse in the mornings. He's a little bit on the lazy side. So, it's kind of hard to get a read on one like him. He doesn't give you a whole lot in the mornings, but obviously knows when game time is, and he ended up sitting a really good trip.
I'll talk about the trip a little bit, because on the backstretch, it kind of looked like he took a hold of the bit and woke up a little bit.
Yeah, a little too much. Javier kind of had to reach up and grab him, but then he said he responded well to that once he did, and he kind of sat in the pocket there and tipped him out, and he finished up nicely.
How does it feel to get your 7th victory in this race?
Feels great. Happy to do it.
All right, well, off to a good start here, Todd. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Greg.
Gabby, thank you. He's so used to winning big races, it just comes natural now.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's like almost saying the same things, but what can you say? I mean, he just gets the job done year after year, and with these 2-year-olds.
And we just saw a winner of this race from last year come back and really sort of establish himself as in the second half of the year as a standout runner. Frenzy Fire just came back and ran the Dwyer, and that was a incredible performance.
Yeah. Circle the field. Impressive.
Grade 1 Diana, that is next. Our first Grade 1 of the meet here in 2018 at Saratoga. Chad Brown with Sister Charlie, with New Money Honey, and with A Raving Beauty. They're the top 3 choices on the board. We'll talk more about the Diana when we come back on Saratoga Live.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Full. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners He Hate Me and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have commanded prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're into the stretch. Kedor in front. Here's Lady Eli charging on the far outside. Antono sneaks through an opening at the fence. Kedor is fighting hard. Lady Eli comes at her from the outside. Antono comes at her from the rail. The three of them battle it out to the wire in the Diana. Here's the finish. It is the dauntless Lady Eli.
Oh, the incredibly game Lady Eli, one of the fan favorites here at Saratoga, where she actually made her debut victory. Back when she was a 2-year-old, she was a special, special runner.
What a race that was. Kadura on the front end in the middle of those horses. Antono trying to get up to the rail, and there was just no spot for her. And Lady Eli showed the guts that made her the champion that she is. She was.
Made it back-to-back wins in the Diana for trainer Chad Brown. Now he is looking for the three-peat. It would be his 4th overall in this race, and he is well stacked with 3 runners who can get the win for him. Sister Charlie, of course, a raving beauty, and New Money Honey sort of been the forgotten of his trio in this race.
It's sort of amazing to think about Lady Eli. She wins her debut as a 2-year-old in Saratoga. Obviously missed her 3-year-old season up here because of injury. She made her return as a 4-year-old at Saratoga and came back and won 2 stakes last year, including the Grade 1 Diana. So she did a lot of great things up here at Saratoga as well.
She did. I mean, look, she defines tenacious. Maybe her and Zenyatta would be the two that you would think of when you think of tenacious, but Lady Eli did it, overcoming an injury that was supposed to take her out of racing.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. She was a great story, and a great story in Chad Brown's barn as well, but looking to make more stories with his trio in this race. And it's a diverse trio in here, and they're meeting up. And, you know, you bring these good horses together, and Chad Brown is not afraid to run them against each other, and his owners have to realize they're going to be competing with other horses from the barn.
He makes the races go. He's got all the top turf horses, boys and girls.
Yeah, he's got as many as 7 or 8 top turf fillies or mares in the country. It's a pretty incredible I would say army of horses in that barn.
An arsenal, I guess. Remember, when entries were taken for this, 15 horses were entered. 7 of them came from Chad Brown's barn. He could have entered a lot more in here.
Well, embarrassment of riches. That's just the bottom line. But I think he's got the right 2 that you need here. I mean, listen, that's just the bottom line. He's got the strength and the numbers when it comes to turf horses here at Saratoga.
We will see how it plays out. Coming up, the Grade 1 Diana is next. Our first Grade 1 of the meet ahead. We're going to reset our show right now. Welcome to Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. It is presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. You've joined us just in time for the Grade 1 Diana ahead. Prestigious race here that kicks off Grade 1 action here at the meet. Purse of $500,000 at the summer place to be here at the Spa in Saratoga Springs, New York. And Chad Brown, who's won this race each of the last 2 years, will try and make it 3 in a row, and he has 3 fillies or mares he'll try and do it with. One of those 4 to 5 on the board right now, and Sister Charlie.
Yeah, he has a 3-pronged charge in here, and Sister Charlie, the one, is probably the filly to beat. Seems like sometimes she'll cause her own trouble, but she was probably much the best last time to barely lose in the New York, but she did win the Jenny Wiley at Keeneland. Look for that kind of effort, and all these other fillies are going to probably have to step up, these fillies and mares, to beat her.
She was so slow into stride in the Grade 2 New York, her last out effort. She'd wound up getting beat by her stablemate 4-Star Crook. She was 28 lengths behind a very bizarre pace up front, in which you had a pace center kind of run off early in that race.
Yeah, what ended up happening is horse broke out from the pack about 11 to 15 lengths from everybody, and you know, Sister Charlie sort of got caught behind the 8 ball and got sort of steadied a little bit on the rail where 4-Star Crook took the outer route. And then when push came to shove, Sister Charlie had a duck to the inside and almost ran down her stablemate. That's why she's 4 to 5 in here. She's the one to beat.
Going to be interesting if we see very different tactics from John Velasquez today. You would think that would be the case after what happened last time out. Time now for a paddock report. Is brought to you by Hillendale Farm, standing Byron for $15,000. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And while I can't complain about Chad Brown's 2 in here and Sister Charlie and Raving Beauty, they look great. Going to take a look at some others who might not be taking quite as much money, including number 2 in here, Proctor's Ledge. And I really feel as though she is the main threat to the Chad Brown trio, as she is a filly who loves Saratoga, horses for courses. I think sometimes does get overlooked overall. And furthermore, the weights are kind of evening out for her. She carried a lot of weight last time relative to her competition in that Grade 1 Just a Game. And 2, she's getting back out to 1 1/8. And you look at her and she just kind of screams that distance, if you will. She's very tall, all legs, and this is pretty much the most fit I've ever seen this filly look here for trainer Brendan Walsh. We'll see if she can turn the tables on Chad Brown. Moving on to Chad's higher price of them all, and that is number 3, New Money Honey. Maybe she just isn't as good as what she was as a 2/3-year-old, or maybe the competition's caught up with her. But I like what I see here today. As I said, going back to the opening of the show, and that last time she just felt as though she was almost too fresh, and she just got up over a field of less inferior horses. And today, she's a little more calm, a little more focused. She's tighter. She hasn't gotten warm. And you want to talk about a great coat on a horse. She's dappled head to toe. It's got a great shine to it. Yeah, she's the outsider of the Brown 3, but she's actually made one of the best impressions on me here overall. Now on the outside is number 7, Hawksmoor, who seemed to have lost some of her early speed going back to her last 2 or 3 efforts last time she stumbled. And today it looks as though we can see the typical Hawksmoor in that she's sharp here as she does get back out to 1 1/8 once again. I feel as though maybe a little less ground's probably better for her. You look at her, she's this kind of really round, shorter coupled type, but I will say she's sharp, and she's the last one to go in here today. We'll see if that has any bearing on how she breaks for Arnaud Delacour, who is looking for his 2nd win on this Saturday card. Greg?
And there's a look at Hawksmoor. Thank you, Maggie. Trying Saratoga for the first time, 12 to 1 on the board, and should be showing some pace from outside.
Well, you got to look at Hawksmoor. When you look at her, she's had the lead in a Grade 1 basically with about 25 yards to go twice, and has gotten run down, one by Cepesa, one time by Off Limits. So she has some quality, and if they let her walk around the racetrack, I don't know if she can win this race, but she can maybe hit the exotics.
We talked about that slow beginning for Sister Charlie in the New York Stakes, was so far out of it. A late rush just missed to 4-Star Crook. John Velasquez back aboard today. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Well, I don't want to steal Julian Leparoux's thunder here. He's trying to interview Johnny, but Johnny, try to get a couple of questions. Yeah, he's trying to take my job away. Johnny, talk a little bit about this filly's last race and how difficult of a race it really was.
Well, it wasn't that difficult at all. She just didn't break in at first jump out of there, and then the horse inside kind of got me right out, second jump out of there, and And that was it, you know. So all you have to do is just bet your time, and hopefully you give it a good trip. She got a good trip, but just had to do a little too much to get there.
Exactly. She is a horse that kind of takes a long time to get going. So how do you kind of prepare for that going into this race today?
Well, we gotta break better. That's all it is. We gotta break better and get a better position where I don't have to give it too much to do.
You find that is a lot of the times the case, given her background in European races?
Well, I mean, I won on her, and that's the feeling that she gave me, you know. It's like I got to get a better position where I can't let her do too much, you know.
All right, well, best of luck here, Johnny.
Thanks.
All right, very good stuff there from Gabby Gaudet. So the game plan, get her more involved early. And if you've seen that last race, absolutely, you would think that needs to be the case.
Listen, there's no doubt. We know that she has a kick. She's got a kick at 1 mile and 16. She's got a kick at 1 mile and a quarter twice. Her other races, in Shanty, she was second in a field of 16 in 1 mile and 5/16. She gets the trip. She's definitely the one to beat.
She is even money on the board. Sister Charlie, part of a trio of runners for trainer Chad Brown, trying to win this race for the 3rd straight year. The Grade 1 Diana when we come back.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live, brought to you by our friends at Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Horses are in the paddock for the Diana. And Tom, I want to talk a little bit about Hawksmoor. Hawksmoor is probably the speed, and you have to imagine they want to go. My first question to you is, last race, she stumbled at the start of the Gamely, lost all chance. The Gamely at Santa Anita Mile and 1/8 starts on the dirt course for very few strides before going to the turf. Do you think that contributed to her stumble at the start?
It certainly could have. But whatever the reason is, put a line through that race. She was taken completely out of her game. And if you go back to her other races, she's prominently placed, if not on the lead. She is going to try to make the lead out of the gate from the outside post.
Her concern for me is not her last. It's the race 2 back where she lost to an inferior field at 1-5. I wonder if she's one of those horses you talked about earlier that just doesn't have that same competitive edge anymore.
I thought she was unlucky to lose in that race. The winner got through on the rail. She had to kind of go around. I just thought it was an unfortunate circumstance, and I thought she was the best horse that day.
Even against inferior horses, though, shouldn't she have beaten that quality?
Look, if you're asking me whether she should have won the race or not, I'm saying she didn't have the best chance to win the race.
That's fair. That's fair enough. Let's talk about the 6, A Raving Beauty, as well as the horse to finish second to, or Proctor's Ledge. I think even though A Raving Beauty won by just 3/4 of a length, to me, the margin doesn't do justice to how dominant she was.
Yeah, here's what I see in A Raving Beauty as she's going from 1 turn to 2 turns today. somebody has got to keep Hawksmoor company on the front end. Chad Brown's got 3 in the race. He's going to have a strategy. I'm looking for a strong warm-up from a Raving Beauty in the post parade, which is an indication that they're going to try to send and they're going to try to keep Hawksmoor company, or at least honest, to set up for Sister Charlie, the 1 horse.
Do you think Proctor's Ledge can make up the gap here? Do you think she improves at Saratoga? I just think she's a darn good horse.
I think she improves going back to 2 turns. She's another one that was a 1-turn horse at Belmont. That's the only race I can find in her entire form which she went 1 turn. I think she loves Saratoga, and I think she loves 2 turns.
This is a tougher field, though, than the one she was beating last year, but she has come back and run well, and you're right. Her win 2 back at a mile at Churchill Downs was around 2 turns.
Well, they bring up great points with Proctor's Ledge. Getting back to 2 turns certainly could be big for her as well, but getting back to Saratoga, where she's undefeated with 2 stakes victories, should be big. We'll see how big that plays against certainly a better field than she's been used to seeing.
Yeah, you know, she's a lightly late race 4-year-old, and she's only had Lasix, her last 3, 6, 8 starts, and she's won 3 of those, so she's improving.
There's the Silks of E5 Racing Thoroughbreds. That was New Money Honey. And here's the call to post for the Diana from Sam the Bugler. It's amazing. Breeders' Cup winner, all that she has accomplished, and she really is the forgotten of his trio for Chad Brown. And all she did in her 4-year-old debut was come back and win off the layoff.
Yeah, listen, when you have 2 others in here that might be better, New Money Honey's getting a little bit dismissed, but I wouldn't be surprised if she wins the race at 8-1. You know, sometimes that ends up happening.
And let's not forget, granted it was different circumstances, she did beat Sister Charlie in Sister Charlie's U.S. debut. And here is the 4-year-old filly by my boy Charlie for Chad Brown. John Velasquez back aboard.
Yeah, furious rally last time. Only 1 off-the-board finish in her whole career, and a lot of money in the bank, almost 800 and some odd thousand.
Brendan Walsh trains Proctor's Ledge. Jose Ortiz rides.
The most likely horse to upset Chad Brown's triumvirate in here, but she has never beaten a field this strong.
Former Breeders' Cup winner for E5 Racing Thoroughbreds and Chad Brown, Javier Castellano aboard New Money Honey.
Yeah, 1.4 million in the bank, and a horse that likes to win races, 5 for 10 lifetime.
Long shot, War Canoe, sent out by Gary Contessa. Dylan Davis rides.
With all due respect, I'm surprised that she's not much higher than 26-1, but I like Gary Contessa taking a shot with a horse that he has done a sensational job with.
Ultra Brat, she ran lights out on a soft turf at Pimlico last start, trained by Graham Motion. Joel Rosario aboard.
You're right, she does. I think she wants a little bit more cut in the ground. I don't know if you're going to get that today, and that's why you're getting 15-1.
A Raving Beauty, 2 starts in the States and 2 wins for Chad Brown. Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
She has gotten good trips in both of her last 2 starts, but she's a very tractable horse to put in position. She is the one that Sister Charlie likely has to beat.
And a Hawksmoor for Arnaud Delacour, Julien Leperoux aboard.
Yeah, she's coming off a layoff since May 26th, but I think she likes to run fresh and look for her early to try to take this group gate to wire at 10-1.
That is your field for the Grade 1 Diana. Even money on Sister Charlie. 2 of her 3 starts here in the States. She has just missed after launching from far, far back. John Velasquez tells our own Gabby Gaudet, get her into the race earlier, break well today, the key. The Grade 1 Diana. Coming up next on Saratoga Live.
Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a link to the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
We are back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. This is the hardware that awaits the winners. The Grade 1 Diana, Chad Brown knows them well. Looking for a third in a row. With more on one of his runners in this group, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Well, Greg, Tom Amoss had said that he would like to see number 6, A Raving Beauty, taken away from the pony and getting an aggressive warm-up. Not the case, but talking with Irad Ortiz, who has been aboard her for all 3 now of her U.S. starts, she's very quirky, guys. She doesn't necessarily like to walk towards the gate. You see Irad having his legs out of the stirrups, and that's just to keep her calm, which the crowd is definitely not helping me or Irad in keeping our horses calm here. But she's doing that so far. I don't want to jinx her here, but definitely a quiet warm-up for A Raving Beauty, but that's just because that's how she can get. She does too much. Moving on to number 2, that is Proctor's Ledge, ridden by Jose Ortiz for the first time, and he, I'm assuming, wanted to get a good feel of how she felt and took her away from the pony, and boy, she's so classy and she moves so brilliantly. She just had that perfect bounce of that typical turf fillier mare to her, and just all class, all professionalism. That's why I'm going with Proctor's Ledge, because she does love it here up at the spa. And obviously, so do the fans here, Greg. Always like to see some people hollering. Let me get some noise here, guys.
Getting the crowd riled up. Well done, Maggie Wolfendale. Yeah, Proctor's Ledge, 2 for 2 here at Saratoga. Winning the Lake George and the Lake Placid. As for the speedster on the outside, look at that crowd. That is Hawksmoor. With more on Hawksmoor, let's go to Gabby Gaudette.
Greg, thank you. And I think a reoccurring theme in this race is strategy, whether it's strategy with Johnny Velasquez on Sister Charlie or Julian Leparoux on Hawksmoor. I did talk to Arnaud Delacour and ask him what the strategy is, and he said he wants to go to the lead with this filly, and naturally I think she's going to be in that position. She does look really cranked up today. She was on her toes. I was asking him too if that's a normal thing for her, and he said absolutely. If we could get her to calm down, we would, but that's just her natural temperament.
So it will be Hawksmoor, the 7-horse, trying to lead the way and take him every step of the way, gate to wire here in the Grade 1 Diana. As we see Ultra Brat move in for Grand Motion. Again, a 10 1/4 length winner in the Gallarette last start. That was on a soft turf at Pimlico. But it's Chad Brown trying to win the Grade 1 Diana for a 3rd consecutive year. He has New Money Honey, the 3, A Raving Beauty, the 6, and the favorite, the 1, Sister Charlie. Can she break better today and get involved early? Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
Ready for the start. They're off in the Diana, and A Raving Beauty had the best beginning and goes out to the early lead. Hawksmoor now moves up alongside, and Hawksmoor to the front. And Irad Ortiz Jr. takes a hold of A Raving Beauty to sit off of her. And then it's Ultra Brat 3rd on the outside, making their way toward that first turn. Proctor's Ledge is next. New Money Honey to the outside is 5th, and just 4 lengths from the front. Then a gap of another 2 lengths back to the favorite Sister Charlie, who is second last ahead of Longshot War Canoe to the backstretch. 24.25 the opening quarter mile. Hawksmoor heading on to the backstretch with a 2-length lead. And then it's Ultra Brat second by another 3. New Money Honey is 3rd. Then A Raving Beauty on the inside 4th. Sister Charlie is 5th outside of Proctor's Ledge. And War Canoe is last of them all, 12 lengths off the lead, continuing up the backstretch. 47.77 was the half mile. Hawksmoor at a reasonable pace up the backstretch, leading the Diana field over Ultra Brat. New Money Honey's got 4 lengths to make up. She's racing on the outside of A Raving Beauty. Sister Charlie is on the outside of Proctor's Ledge, and she's 6 lengths behind. War Canoe is the trailer around the far turn. Hawksmoor continues to lead the way. Ultra Brat's a length behind, and New Money Honey is sent along 3 wide, while A Raving Beauty will ride the rail, and she steadied hard here. A Raving Beauty got caught in traffic. War Canoe's trying to get involved. Sister Charlie swings up on the far outside, and they're into the stretch, and it is Ultra Brat in front. Sister Charlie on the outside. Hawksmoor has given way. Trying to get re-involved is A Raving Beauty, and then comes New Money Honey, but it's Ultra Brat in front, close to home from Sister Charlie. They're coming down to the line. Oh! Sister Charlie may have nailed Ultra Brat in the last stride in the Diana. A raving beauty was third in 1:46.26.
Well, you saw Chad Brown right there, the trainer of Sister Charlie. He's not sure. I'm not sure. Sister Charlie, Ultra Brat, both right there at the wire.
There's a lot going on in this race that we're going to have to go through. The 6 got absolutely sawed off on the rail, and the 5 Ultra Brat was able to get away from this group, but the 1 Sister Charlie kept on coming, and I believe might have popped the 5 right at the wire. This is very, very tight. Ooh.
It is tight. It does appear, though, that Sister Charlie maybe even almost lost the bob, but still got the win. It was close. And Paul's absolutely right, by the way, about a raving beauty. She was extremely unlucky here. And let's give Graham Motion a little love, too. Almost pulled up another big upset. His horse didn't improve just because of the soft turf last time. This was one heck of a horse race.
It was one heck of a horse race. If you watch Sister Charlie going over to the starting gate of the turf, they kept her busy. You know, they actually jogged her onto the turf course with the pony. They wanted her mind on breaking well and being alert, and she was a lot closer today than she has been.
No, I agree. We talked about it in the backstretch in the middle of the race. I got to tell you guys, man, it's early in the meet, but things are pretty exciting around here.
Yeah, you make a good point. When the 6 broke so sharply, Greg, with Irad Ortiz Jr., and yes, you see as the 1 is put up as unofficially your winner. He broke so sharply with Raving Beauty, but then he decided, let's sit that trip on the rail. Chad Brown talks about it. You want that rail trip, and sometimes it can be bad. This time it didn't work out.
Just up for the win, Sister Charlie. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Reluctant to smile and celebrate quite yet, but yes, Johnny, you did get up here with Sister Charlie. You needed every bit of that stretch, though.
Yes, I did. And I had to pull out in the 5:16 pole, and I got a little bit carried wide, and then so I was like, well, maybe I just lost the race just because of that, and hopefully, thankfully, she actually came running down the lane.
She doesn't like to win or lose by that much. Is that just because you have to kind of time your run right?
I don't know. That's just the way that she is, though, you know, and she's give you whatever she can, and then she does enough, and then she gets there and kind of hangs a little bit.
Were you happy with your trip up until then? I mean, you had the inside post, you utilized it, and I'm seeing you're using your grade 1 saddle here.
That's right. I was happy until the 5:16 pole, basically. You know, I got a good position, and I was all the way good to the 3 pole, and then I wheeled it out, and Javier came in front of me and got carried out a little bit. Hopefully, thank God I had the best horse.
Johnny, tell us a little bit about this saddle, though. You only ride in grade 1s in it, correct?
Well, right now, that's what the only time I use it, so I'm glad that I got it today.
How old is it?
Well, it's been 25 years with me, and maybe another 20, just maybe 45 years, I don't know.
Wow, it was Angel Caderas beforehand, right?
That's right. Angel won 2 derbies with him, so it's got to be at least 22 with him and 25 with me.
I feel very lucky to be riding next to the majestic saddle. The grade 1 saddle with Johnny V. You get another one in it. Congratulations here with Sister Charlie.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, back to you.
Impossibly close finish in here. Sister Charlie needed every inch of that 1 1/8 to get the win.
Yeah, and listen, Johnny Velasquez saw what was going on, but so did Irad Ortiz Jr. He knew that Sister Charlie was going to make his move, so he decided to make his move with a raving beauty. As you see, Chad Brown looking to give somebody a hug or looking to maybe collect a trophy. What ended up happening, Johnny Velasquez took the overland route, and Irad Ortiz Jr. got unlucky.
And John Velasquez did get Sister Charlie involved early. She broke much better this afternoon. 3rd Diana in a row for Chad Brown. We're going to take a break. The ghost-faced horse making his debut. Southern Phantom's first start. We'll take a look at it when we come back.
This graded stakes winner and multiple grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Picture time for Sister Charlie. Peter Brandt, John Velasquez, and Chad Brown once again in this race.
Yeah, congratulations. This is a filly by my boy Charlie out of the Galileo mare, Starlet's sister, and gets that second victory here in North America and more money in that bank account. If you had that pick three, $40. I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of favorites in the NYRA late pick 5, and the payoffs are still pretty good if you can get to somewhat of a price in the finale.
Zagora back in 2011, Decita in 2016, Lady Eli last year, and now Sister Charlie, the 4 winners in the Grade 1 Diana for trainer Chad Brown. As we take a look at the NYRA Bets late pick 5 follow along, another favorite victorious, but considering these prices,
not bad.
Very good.
The 11 team colors $469, the 9 $522, the 3 Tweet Kitten $799, and Super Fast $741. Also Monster B, but you do have some in the thousands, which is pretty amazing considering it's been all chalk.
Let's talk about Sister Charlie too, and where she fits in this division now. Look, her 2 defeats. One the first time she came here to the States, 2 New Money Honey, but that was coming over the pond from France. Barely missed against New Money Honey. Barely misses in New York with that terrible slow start, I guess you should say, last time out. She is ultra talented. She's going to be one of the big names you would think who has a big chance to win on Breeders' Cup weekend if all goes well getting it.
Oh, you would think so. I think the longer the better, too. That's, I mean, you could tell she just has a lot of lawn.
Let's go downstairs to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Here with Chad Brown. And Chad, talk a little bit about this trip. She had a wide trip, at least on the far turn. Did you think that she was going to get there?
I'll tell you, I had my doubts. And when she wouldn't switch leads in the lane, I really didn't think she'd get there. But, you know, Johnny got her, he knows her so well, and he got her to switch leads in time. And then she just surged and got there at the wires. Great ride by him, and another great performance by this super filly.
She looks like a filly that just is kind of slow to get going. How much did it matter that Johnny did have that experience on her today?
A lot, and that's why we stuck with him. And she's run well every time he's ridden her, and she's just a real consistent horse. We're so lucky to have her. They get along real well, and just a great day. It's nice to be on the right side of those photos.
This is your 3rd Diana in a row. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. You know, my mentor, Bobby Frank, there's like a handful of races that I just always remember him talking about and really pointing for, and this was definitely one of them. And I think about him every time I participate in this race, and you know, the use of things that he taught me to be able to have a run like this and be able to work with these horses that we have and get it done is rewarding.
Incredible performance. Congratulations, Chad.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Now the late, great Bobby Frankel, and that is where Chad Brown learned his trade. As you get a look at Peter Brandt, the owner of Sister Charlie, and a little bit of, I guess, sweet revenge, too, for Chad Brown. Graham Motion come up with a couple of huge upsets, notably in the Manhattan the last couple of years.
Yeah.
One of them with Ascend, where he beat a very short price Chad Brown runner.
That's true. That's true. So a little bit of revenge and getting Ultra Bat there at the wire. But again, you know, the 6 was heavily compromised here, Raving Beauty. Irad Ortiz Jr. took a shot, tried to go inside of Hawksmoor. It did not pay off, and it compromised the 2 Proctor's Ledge. So look for those two mares to run a little bit better. Fillies and mares will run a little bit better next time.
Still have one race to go here on this Saturday card, a mile over the inner turf. It's a $50,000 claiming race. And as you see, the odds reflect this is a very wide open race, maybe the most wide open of the day.
It really is. Listen, Monster B at 9-2 is getting money. Super Fast is as well. I've heard people make cases for the 4 War Stroll. I could definitely see that. I think it's 10. Jess I Am's got a big shot. Wide open last race here at this Spa.
In case you missed it, this happened earlier on the card. We talked about it on yesterday's show that the debut would come today. This unique horse with the ghost white face, Southern Phantom, created a social media craze and had a naming contest in partnership with Southern Equine and Blood Horse. And one lucky contestant came up with Southern Phantom, immediately thinking of Phantom of the Opera. Wound up making the debut. We didn't get to see that beautiful face because the blinkers were on.
Yeah, they were on. You know what? Listen, he did not break well, but I thought he showed a little bit of interest here late in the race. You can see he starts to lower his head a little bit and starts to make up a little bit of ground. So hopefully he can get a little bit of seasoning out of this race and come back with a better race. But I like his finish. He looks like he's finishing with a tiny bit of gusto, and he's going to get a little bit more improvement out of this race.
Well, your winner in here ran huge. That's Nitrous for Steve Asmus and the son of Tappet and Winchell Thoroughbreds. Our friend Southern Phantom winds up finishing 5th in the race. Got an education from it.
They ran
Certainly,
well. I really
could run a lot better next time out.
You're right. And the winner here is the real deal. So he ran into, obviously, a nice horse, but you could see in those strides at the end, he's got a little run in him. It's going to be really nice because I want to see him take off the blinkers when he gets his first win photo, hopefully.
Of course, Nitrous, he was just a neck behind Strike Silver, who ran very good in the Sanford today. So that was a very serious horse he had to go up against. We're going to take a break. We still have the nightcap to come, and we're going to look ahead to the Monster Showdown on Sunday. To close out the weekend, Monomoy Girl, your Kentucky Oaks winner, going head-to-head against Midnight Bizou, winner of the Mother Goose. That happened to the Coaching Club American Oaks. We're going to have it on Saratoga Live on Sunday. A preview when we come back.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Monomoy Girl on top as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it is Monomoy Girl taken on by Wonder Godot. And on the inside, Monomoy Girl, it's down to these 2. And it's going. Monomoy Girl on top as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it is Monomoy Girl taken on by Wonder Gadot. And on the inside, Monomoy Girl, it's down to these two. And it's going to be Monomoy Girl in the Kentucky Oaks.
I mean, she's just incredible. I mean, she just keep on running.
Monomoy Girl getting ever closer with a 3-wide trip, and she's pulling away in the Acorn. A 4-length lead. Talk to me is second. Geo gained third. Monomoy Girl home on top of the Acorn.
Smith now making his move on Midnight Bisou in the red colours from second last, taking off around the field. Here comes Midnight Bisou, mounting a mighty bit on the outside as she moves up within 2 lengths of the lead. Midnight Bisou with another assertive final furlong. The top filly of the meet deservedly wins the Grade 1 Santa Anita Oaks.
Midnight Bisou pokes her neck in front. Midnight Bisou turns for home on top in the Mother Goose. Midnight Bisou. A very strong performance in the Mother Goose.
She's just getting better, this mare. She's going to get better through the year as well. I'm really looking forward to late summer going into November with her.
It is a monster showdown on Sunday in the Coaching Club American Oaks. The 1-3 finishers from the Kentucky Oaks doing battle again, and right now the division goes through Monomoy Girl, but boy, did Midnight Bisou look sensational in the Mother Goose.
Yeah, you can say what you want about Midnight Bisou. Like, she's changed bars to Steve Asmussen. She was giant in the Mother Goose. But you cannot take away that Monomoy Girl won the Kentucky Oaks from post 14. You know how hard that is to do? And by the way, she beat a Queen's Plate winner while she did it, and Wonder Gadot, who came back to win their prestigious race over in Canada. Her one blemish, she lost by a neck to Road to Victory. I still don't know how she lost to Road to Victory, but she looks a picture of health, and she is the one to beat.
She is sensational. She shortened up in the Acorn from the Kentucky Oaks from 1 1/8 miles to a mile. She looked just as good, if not better. And as Paul mentioned, she has done very little wrong in her career, but this is going to be a great test. Midnight Bisou, she had trouble. She had an excuse in that Kentucky Oaks, and now she gets the rematch.
Yeah, and can she make up the ground that she lost in the Kentucky Oaks on Monomoy Girl? She beat Road to Victory last time out by about 6 lengths. Maybe she has closed that gap, but she may need to close it a little bit more to get by Monomoy Girl.
2 of the best in the division. They are superstars. We'll see how the second half of the year goes for the 2 of them. But it's not just these 2 in this race. You take a look at this race and say, why in the world would I ever want to face those 2 monsters? Well, if you're Tom Amoss, we need to ask him that question. Chocolate Martini showing up for Tom Amoss, who of course ran in the Kentucky Oaks against him, finished 5th in that race. Tom, what was the decision behind running in this spot?
Well, look, I mean, Chocolate Martini is a horse we claimed for $25,000, and as a group, we won a Grade 2 stake, and we're Grade 2 stakes place. We're running against 2 fabulous fillies. We get that. But it's an honor to get the opportunity to run here at Saratoga in a Grade 1, the coaching club, and face horses like that. It's a small field. We're going to roll the dice.
I could be wrong, but I feel as though you won a Grade 1 here once before and may have beaten a champion in doing so.
You're exactly right. Your memory is really, it's tops.
No, I like to do my research about you. I got to keep on top of the game. Heritage Gold upset Beautiful Pleasure here in the Go for Juan a number of years ago. It's a tall tale, but listen, last race, a long shot almost won the race. You can't win it if you don't run in it.
Absolutely, going to be fun to watch. Chocolate Martini taking a swing. You got to take swings. You got to, as Dwayne Lucas said, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless, they claimed the horse for 30 and won a Grade 2. So Tom, kudos already.
Absolutely. Fairgrounds Oaks winner earned her a ticket to the Kentucky Oaks with that performance. That happens on Sunday on our show. You don't want to miss Sunday, and that's an incredible showdown. Monomoy Girl and Midnight Bisou. Time for a paddock report now for our nightcap coming up. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Greg, thank you. And we'll check in with the outside 3 runners as we'll look at Todd Pletcher's charge. That's number 9, Hieroglyphics. This is actually a former stakes winner here at the spa as he took down the Better Talk Now in late August of 2017. Now, back then he was a colt. He used to get really kind of washy, and that was just him. It was what I was used to seeing from him. But now, at some point, he was gelded, and that's not the case. And that's typically the case with horses when they become geldings. Now, he does drop here, and you could look at that as a negative, as he does come off a bit of a layoff too. I don't love it, but I can't fault him here in the paddock. He looks extremely fit. Energy level is good. We'll see, is this really negative? As we'll take a look at number 10, Jess I Am, who got pretty good down at the fairgrounds and in Kentucky for trainer Brad Cox. And he will get back on the turf here today, which I don't know. I don't know what to think of that move necessarily. What I can tell you is that he looks fabulous here. He's extremely well muscled. I mean, you look at his hind end. I mean, it's just, it's an apple bottom, for lack of a better term. It's just really rounded out. It's really what you like to see in these types of runners. Yes, he does have one win at least on the turf, so I guess you could say it's logical. And two, he does have some speed, and that he is touting himself as possessing. And then there is number 11, Team Colors. Jimmy Jerkins got away with running this guy for 50 last time. We'll see if somebody picks him up for that this time around. There's obviously some back class with this guy. And two, in the past, he used to get really revved up before his races. Now he's really chilled out. Maybe that's a negative, we'll see. But it's the same type of Team Colors that I saw last time out at Belmont Park. It's just maturity, it's just age. He looks great here. I think the race kind of flows a bit through these outside three. Greg?
Maggie, tremendous. Thank you very much for that report. Just a wide open race. 7-2 is our favorite right now, and that is Todd Pletcher's Hieroglyphics, the 9. But there's a look at Team Colors. And yeah, definitely tried to sneak one in there. Got away with running for 50, kept the horse, won, and now going to try it again.
This is a tough horse to read because the horse had not won in so long, and then boom, off that layoff, comes back and wins for 50. Can he repeat, considering he's won for 11 the last 2 years?
There's the man of the hour after that ride from John Velasquez on Sister Charlie. Incredible to really get redemption for that narrow defeat in the prior start.
Yeah, and he's on a live horse here in Hieroglyphics just because this horse is 2 for 2 over the racetrack and possesses at least tactical speed for Pletcher on the drop. But I think it's a little suspicious when you see that drop and then you see that bullet drill in there.
Sam the Bugler with a call to post in our post parade. Coming up here for our nightcap on our first Saturday of the meet here at Saratoga. And we're going to see Marengo Road to kick things off. 14-1 from that inside post here. This will be the second start off the layoff for this 5-year-old son of Quality Road.
Yeah, really tough to find a turf race to go to that can beat this field. That one race at Laurel's okay, but probably needed that last one at 14-1.
Thatcher Street, the 2 at 15-1 on the board. Julian Leperoux, Ian Wilkes.
He's actually a dangerous player and one of the horses that could be forwardly placed in this race. Thought he had a shot, especially at a price.
Tweet Kitten, the 3, Jose Ortiz for Mike Maker.
Yeah, caught a soft racetrack off a long layoff, almost a 2-year layoff, and then last time out, bobbled out of the start. So maybe with a clean beginning, this horse will be okay at 7-1.
Javier Castellano and a big price at 18-1. War Stroll for Mike Maker.
Probably the less likely of the 2 Mike Maker horses. Might be a cut below these.
Monster B, the 6, trained by Marcassi, Joel Rosario aboard as a winner at Saratoga.
He's my top choice in this race. He's getting back to the distance he prefers of a mile. He's getting some real class relief. I think he makes a lot of sense in here.
Could see pace with the 7 expected rulers. Speed rider Kendrick Carmouche aboard for Derek Ryan.
Yeah, they took blinkers off this horse 3 back. I think they're trying to figure out what his niche is, and maybe it is going a mile here. 24-1.
Second off the claim for Rudy Rodriguez with the 8 Superfast.
Ultra consistent runner does face a tough field today.
And still favored right now, the 9 Hieroglyphics for trainer Todd Pletcher with John Velasquez.
Like I mentioned earlier, 2 for 2 over the racetrack, likes this distance, and does have tactical speed. One of the ones.
Jess I Am, the last time we saw this horse on the turf, he won. That was back in November last year at the fairgrounds for Brad Cox.
I'm confused why the slash is there. He should be 92-1, not 9-2.
Wow. Team Colors, the 11 at 5-1. Manny Franco, Jimmy Jerkins.
Yeah, you know, this is a horse that was 3.5-1 last time and won, and hadn't won in a long time. Can he put together 2 wins in a row?
Come to Saratoga you're a horse racing fan for life. And I think that's the case right there. Getting set, 6 minutes away from our finale. Coming up here on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. A wide open final race of the card here on this Saturday afternoon from Saratoga Springs. We'll be right back.
Eclipse champion Blaine notched over $4.3 million in earnings, including this historic victory over Zenyatta. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. Recent top runners include multiple graded stakes winner Fault and French Classic winner Senga. In the ring, his yearlings have sold up to $350,000. Among the top sires of his crop by lifetime graded stakes horses, his 2018 stud fee offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a link for the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm, and happy to be here with trainer Brad Cox as we close out this Saturday afternoon, I believe it is. Brad, talk a little bit about Jess I Am and this finale and what the decision was to go back to the turf today.
Just the timing of the race. We had him at Belmont the last few weeks, and he's been training extremely well over the Belmont training track. And this race come up, we thought we'd take a shot. We've only made one start with him on the turf, and he was successful at the fairgrounds last winter. So we thought we'd change things up and give him a shot on the grass again.
Well, you've got a big weekend ahead, of course, including tomorrow, Monomoy Girl making her way into the starting gate for the Coaching Club American Oaks. How's the camp feel going into tomorrow?
Confident. She's training really well. She hasn't regret. I mean, she's just been, since last fall, just does everything we ask of her. She's training extremely well, and gives you solid work week after week. And she's coming into this race just like she has the rest of them all year. So we're excited about her.
Well, we're excited as well. Best of luck here.
Thank you very much.
All right, Andy, what is your take on this finale today?
I think this is probably one of the most interesting races on the card, actually. And for me, the 6 Monster B is extremely interesting. Has been facing considerably tougher company. And I know he hasn't won in 2 years, which does concern me, no doubt about it. But this is what he wants to do. He wants a mile. He does not want to go any farther. And his race 2 back can win this.
he wants a mile, and he wants some pace up front, and he's going to get both of those today. He was hurt by the slow pace in his last race. I think Monster B has also got a big chance in the 6.
I also think the 3 Tweet Kitten is interesting. Now, clearly, you have to hope there's some aberrant thing about it. His last race was an aberration because he ran very poorly. Found a stat for Mike Maker. Allowance to claiming race, which this horse is doing, going from allowance to a claiming race. On the turf in Saratoga, going a route, he's 10 for 21, Mike Maker, over the last 5 years.
I'm not very good at math, but that's almost 50%.
That's almost as good as your training record.
Yeah, it might be. I think it's better. But, you know, that horse is another of many in this race that's making a big class drop. There's a number of horses that are coming out of allowance races in here, 7 of the 10, as a matter of fact, and dropping in for a claim.
It's really the only Saratoga where you could see a race like this, with horses
exactly
coming from Kentucky, the Mid-Atlantic, so many different places. Marengo Road, the one, it's a long shot, I think, is not impossible. He had no shot against the horse he ran against sprinting last time off the layoff. Now he stretches out and he draws well.
Draws well, and you got to ask yourself, is Mike Trombetta thinking a race ahead? Did he put him in that race to get him ready so that he can drop him in for a claim here and get a big performance? I like that as a long shot play, Marengo Road, the 1 horse.
I think he's dangerous near. This is a very fascinating race, and Mike Trombetta is a sharp trainer who had a lot of success shipping horses into New York last year, particularly with some long shots.
Well, they're talking about the 1, Marengo Road. This is a former stakes winner. He's been in graded stakes competition. I thought he was very interesting in this spot.
Yeah, he is. But you look at this field, the worry that you get through all this, obviously the scratch of the 5, is you have horses like the 1 for 9 the last 2 years, the 2, 0 for 12. Tweet Kitten has run 3 times in the last 2 years. Warstroll, 1 for 15. Monster B, 0 for 11. The 7, 0 for 12. You can keep going on, but when you get to the 10, Jess I Am, that horse has got 3 wins the last 2 years.
There's Marengo Road, the 1. We've talked a little bit about this intriguing long shot, with more on a couple of long shots down on the inside. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And I couldn't agree with Andy and Tom more in regards to this horse. Totally a tune-up race last time. I mean, this horse wants no part of going 6 furlongs. He's this big, long, scopy horse that is just not built to run that fast over that kind of distance and ground. That was a tune-up race. You know, he's an older ridgeling. Sometimes they need the proverbial race to get the fitness into him. You can do as much as you want in the morning, and nothing's going to do the trick as much as a race. Number 2 is Thatcher Street, who is consistent, but he's consistently not winning. I don't mind him. As Andy said, he's less than impossible because he has a lot of back class and form. Looked fine out on the track and in the paddock. Like I said, we'll see if Ann Wilkes can get off the duck here on the 2nd day at the spa, Greg.
And Paul, the 2 Thatcher Street, versatile, but it can be very forwardly placed as well. Makes him dangerous.
It does, but like I said, 0 for 12 the last 2 years. Which one of these old class horses is going to reach back for that class? A lot of these horses are dropping here down to this $50,000 level. We'll see who takes advantage of it. Wide open board. 4 to 1 is your favorite in here.
Yeah, many of these runners, they used to be in graded stakes races. Among them, the 11 Team Colors, who has now become the 7-2 favorite on the board. That 11 horse from the outside slot for Jimmy Jerkins. Manny Franco aboard. There he is. Little lather on that neck.
Ooh. 6 was a tiny bit washy too, Monster B.
We're set for the finale. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus, for the call.
Ready for the start. They're off. Expected Ruler is going out to the early lead. On the outside is Jess I Am with some early speed as well. Thatcher Road is away, or rather Thatcher Street is away, running in 3rd on the inside. And then it's Warstroll in 4th as they make their way into that turn. Hieroglyphics is next, and then comes Marengo Road on the inside, racing about 5 lengths from the front. And then it's back to Superfast. Team Colors is next, and the trailers are Monster B and Tweet Kitten. Expected Ruler on top, 24.29 the quarter. The lead a length and 3/4 to Jess I Am onto the backstretch. And then a break of another 3 back to Thatcher Street. Warstroll 4th on the outside. Superfast under a tight hold here, racing 5 lengths from the front up the backstretch. Then Hieroglyphics, followed by Marengo Road and Team Colors on the inside. After that, it's Monster B and Tweet Kitten. 48.38 was the half mile for Expected Ruler, who heads into the far turn with a 2-length lead on Jess I Am. And then it's War Stroll on the outside. Thatcher Street at the hedge. Super Fast still 5 from the front, running in 5th on the far turn. Now being sent along on the far outside. Behind them comes Team Colors. Expected Ruler's got a turn for home in front here. Off the turn, a 2-length lead. And then to the outside, Jess I Am trying to close the gap, drawing up alongside of Expected Colors, a furlong out. On the inside comes Team Colors in 3rd, final 16th. It is Jess I Am. Expected Ruler battles on. Team Colors, they're coming down to the line, and it is very close. Jess I Am was on the wire with an ultra game Expected Ruler. Either of these two, and then came Team Colors.
Jess I Am gets back to the turf and just gets the win. That's a tough beat for the 7 Expected Ruler. Tried to wire this field.
It's so funny around here. When you look at races that have no pace on paper, they go fast. When you look at races where there's an abundance of speed, absolutely nobody goes. I don't know what Joey Leperoux and Jose Ortiz were doing. Well, Tweet Kitten, who has speed, he was last. Maybe he can't run anymore. The 2 horses that were 1-2, they just got the job done and nobody else to close into it. Great job by the 11, frankly, in here. Team Colors getting 3rd, considering the pace. He was way back.
Right, he was the only horse to close and then try to split horses right at the end there. But again, pace held up pretty well. I'm not so sure about the pace being slow.
Oh.
But those horses held on nicely.
Well, when a horse like the 7 Expected Ruler goes on, it has to be slow.
Yeah, you know, the key to this race is that Flo, the jockey, Florent Giroux, decided, you know what? I got a 25-1 shot in front of me. I'm going to play it like I'm in front. And the 25-1 shot gave him all he could. This horse went off at 5-1, not 92-1.
If you're watching on Fox Sports 2, we need to leave you at the top of the hour. There it is, 10-7-11-2, winning trainer, Brad Cox. Well done at 5-1. You can watch the conclusion of our show on Fox Sports 2 today, again on the Fox Sports Go app. And do not forget to join us tomorrow for the Coaching Club American Oaks with Monomoy Girl, Kentucky Oaks winner, and Mother Goose winner, Midnight Bisou. That's how close it was in this finale. Jess I Am winning for Brad Cox to close out the card. So 10-7-11 to finish in a fired up Brad Cox. He should be. Florent Giroux, well done.
Yeah, it really was well done. And he made a great point about the 11. The only horse making up ground is the 11 on the rail. It might have been a tiny bit unlucky because about right here, the momentum gets stopped on the 11. There's really nowhere to go because these 2 horses are so tight to the rail, about right here. And then the 10 just out-duels the 1. The 2 ran a good race, Thatcher Street, and that was some great stuff there by Maggie. She basically told you the 10 looked phenomenal on the racetrack. And boom, 5-1. Brad Cox, this guy knows how to win races.
So sharp.
Yes, he does.
And he says, look out. He has Monomoy Girl ready to fire tomorrow on the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Going to be a handful, and I can't wait to watch those 2 fillies go at it. Midnight Bisou and Monomoy Girl, and that man right there will be aboard Monomoy Girl.
That is Florent Giroux on another good one. Regular rider last year of Gun Runner, who had so many great moments here at Saratoga.
Yeah, he had the, I think a lot of people forget he had the shoe in the tail when he won. Remember that?
That's right, in the Woodward.
In the Woodward.
It's official. Prices are in. We'll give them here in just a moment. Jess I Am should have got this horse back on the turf maybe a while ago. This horse loves the grass, at least in this race. This is a very good field this horse beat.
Yeah, it is. And congratulations to the Zayat colors. Same colors as American Pharaoh. This is a originally by Esconderia out of the Mr. Greeley mare Suma. And Flo, the jockey, like I said, gets the job done. And again, when you look at this field, and I got to give big props to Gabby Gaudet because she showed this to me because I like this horse a little bit. The rest of this field has not won in 2 years. This horse has now won 4 times. So congratulations. If you had this pick 5, it comes back over $1,000.
Pick 4, $186. Yeah, the Naira Bets late pick 5, just over $1,000, beginning with an 8-5 favorite. Let's take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5. Follow along.
Unreal.
Wow.
Is that real?
Favorite, 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 favorite.
Almost your favorite, second choice.
Incredible, and pays $1,000. Sombaye giving Todd Pletcher his 7th Sanford victory. Javier Castellano aboard for that winning ride. And of course, Sister Charlie, John Velasquez, getting her earlier involved in a 3rd straight win in the Diana for trainer Chad Brown. We will see you on Sunday with the Coaching Club American Oaks.